Ackerman, have you ever browsed the internet and come across a sketchy site that had a video of the thickest Latina you have ever seen? Well, I have. Have you wanted to click, but you couldn't trust it? Listen, I've been you at that moment plenty of times. I couldn't trust the hackers and loopers, the government, or even our internet service providers because I knew they'd be spying on your boy. I wanted something on my phone, computer, and tablet to protect me. Who am I to deny myself the desserts of life? But who are they to know how long I watched that video? Here's the thing. At TOPT, we are now affiliated with NordVPN. It's an application that hides your IP address and online activity and helps you stay safe on public Wi-Fis. You also can connect up to 10 devices at once. NordVPN is available on all devices, bro. With our link, you can receive up to 69% off the first 2 years outright. They do have 3 plans, and each plan has its unique features. We wouldn't link up with a company if it wasn't worth it. Believe me. Sign up now, Nakama, and protect yourselves from these online Gorsei members. Much love.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Have you been struggling lately? Maybe having difficulty sleeping, struggling with a relationship, or suffering from low self-esteem?
Listen, I've been there. We have been there.
If so, then today's BetterHelp wants to help you.
BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained and here to help you out.
Talk to your therapist in a private online environment at your own convenience.
There's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area.
You just fill out a questionnaire and it's as simple as that, guys, to help with your specific needs and then get you matched with a therapist under 48 hours.
After that, you schedule a secure video or phone session. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages and everything you share is confidential.
We signed up for different reasons, and to be honest, it's legit. It helped us out a ton.
You can request a different therapist at any point with no additional charge anytime.
Join the 2+ million people who took charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist.
This offer goes out to all our That One Piece Talk Nakama. You get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/TOPT.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TOPT.
We live, Mark? Oh, hello. How's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of TOPT. My name is Larry.
Seb!
And Lino, and this is TOPT where we talk One Piece and anime. Woo! What up, y'all?
Chilling, man.
Hello. Welcome to episode, I believe, 245.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, 245. This episode, we're going to be diving into One Piece chapter 1147. And it's going to be a pretty filled episode. So we might not reach Discord calls. But if we do, I would suggest joining our Discord. But that's for the agenda today. We're also going to talk about the SBS a little bit, just because there is no reader request or cover story. So we're not going to go through every question because most of them are very silly. But we're going to go through, I think, about like 3 of them that I think are pretty interesting. So I'd love to hear the guys' take. If you guys haven't liked the stream just yet, please like the stream. It helps the algorithm to reach more fans of ours. Also, to everybody that's on YouTube, love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody else on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and also Facebook, I just want to say thank you for being here as well. We're going to hit some super chats real quick and say hi to chat. And then after that, we'll jump into the SBS.
Yeah. Before we get into all that, I do want to make a programming announcement for this week. Obviously, we're live today. We're going to be live again tomorrow at 5:15 p.m. for the call-in stream, and then again on Wednesday at 6 p.m. for the return of the DDT. We had two really, really hotly debated matchups in the One Piece community in recent weeks. One of them being Marco versus Sanji. Me and Lawrence got into it. And another one being Loki versus Kaido. Not so much directly debated, but it's been brought up a lot, and it looked like it was 50-50 for the community. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to do some breakdowns. So come Wednesday, 6 p.m., you know, if you want to join that, you have to be a Nakama or higher tiered member in our Discord server, or somebody will have to donate your way in. But should be a lot of fun. Again, the return of the DDT this week. I know it's been a while. We were waiting for some feats for some people. We got some of them at least, so now they're, you know, no holds barred. They're going to be in there. Who you got, what diff and why. Come prepared to debate, y'all. Come prepared to debate. But I want to say what's up to chat before we get into super chats. So I see Twilight Straw Hats in here. What's up, bro? Dempsey Rowe Epo. It's Just Gris. Roy Boy Stokes. King D. Nika. Blank Verse. Left Lane John Wayne. Quavo's in the chat. What up, Quavo?
What's up, Quave?
Argo. Benji 1K. Moogie Water Jai. Wise Life Gaming's in here. Luis Lopez. Is that Marv? I see
Marv is
Marv's
in
in
here.
the chat.
What's up, Marv?
Reaper, Quincy Jones, Reggie J. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Like the stream, like Larry said, it does help with the YouTube algorithm. We'll get into some super chats before we get into the chapter. So we did hit somebody join as a Nakama. It's Trev King, 21. So welcome. Enjoy all the emojis that come with being a Nakama. We got 14 months at Warlord status from Wise Life. It says, I was in PR on vacation, but I still saw Larry coping about Loki being #that guy. Will we ever get explanation lore for the term Supreme King Hockey? I feel like it was just one of the translations that people used.
Supreme King. What is it? What do you mean?
Well, he said, will we ever get explanation / lore for the term Supreme King Hockey? I feel like for OG One Piece readers, it was just one of the translations that was used for Conqueror's Hockey. Like
Yeah,
it just was.
It's one of the monikers.
Yeah, like people have used it that way.
And also, I think it was said in the manga. Like, I think Kaido said it about Zoro. You know, you two they use Supreme too in Conquerors. It's like the same thing.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Another 5 from Hagen One. It says, I don't know if it's feasible, but I feel like a collab between you and Corey Charisma on YouTube would be fire. Also, what up, boys? Have a great stream. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Corey. I don't know if you are familiar with his stuff, Larry.
I don't think I am.
He's a light-skinned black dude. He's like single panel camera, and he has the chopper hat that I have, but the blue one. He does the breakdowns. I can send you some of his video. He's phenomenal on Instagram. At least I see him on Instagram mostly. But yeah, I'd love to do a collab.
Okay.
Yeah. Another 5 from Minimum Wage Mink. It says, Luffy plus Law beefing be like, how you doing? Fantastic. Hope you have a good day. Hope you have a better week. I hope your month's full of successful days.
What is that, Burberry? You're smelling good.
You smell good.
You smell good. You smell great. That's a good movie. If you haven't seen Sorry to Bother You, go check it out. Another 5 from BBL Jonas. What a privilege to spend my 21st getting topped off. Happy birthday, man. Can't wait to see y'all crash out over this chapter. Question, does Blackbeard get stronger at night? #darkness, #BBC. Knowing Oda probably, man. I don't know. I don't know. Does Kizaru get stronger during the daytime? Like, I don't...
I mean, Blackbeard supposedly doesn't sleep. So, I guess? I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Happy birthday. Another 10 from Papa. I can't make out the rest of this. It says, who wins in a fight, Larry? A Supreme King Hockey user like Stephen Hawking, or a slightly less skilled hockey user like John Bones Jones? Better hockey, my money's on wheels. #Y'all the goats.
This would be like Kizaru versus Kid.
That's funny.
I would need to see faces with
You know
those
Stephen
names.
King's? You know Stephen
I'm
Hawking
horrible
is?
with names. You know this.
He's a
He's the
paraplegic guy in a wheelchair.
It's like a super genius glasses.
But
white
he's
dude.
just really
Oh,
smart.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then John Jones is John Jones, like John Bones Jones. Was he?
So I was saying he's the Kid because even though he has it, he can't do anything with it.
Right.
Yeah, and they're trying to say whoever has better hockey, from my perspective, is supposed to win fights.
Mm-hmm.
But they always forget. I always say that if you could utilize it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So good joke.
Another 7 months at Nakama status from Molzenik. It says, had to tap in to let Seb know Hockey Tribe on top. Hey, man, I've been checked out of Survivor recently. I've been a little caught up, but I'm back this week. I should be back.
Hockey Tribe?
There's Delphi Tribe, Hockey Tribe, and Will of D tribes right
I like
now.
the Hockey Tribe.
Yeah.
If it's the Hockey Chuck.
I'm sure they're making a joke in there. Another 5 from 3 Sword Style, but no super chat attached. Next time, let us know your thoughts. Another 12 from Daimyo Dial. Is Oda just trolling Usopp now? Power-ups for the rest. I'm sure Usopp's time is coming.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Another 5 from King Adani. Part 1. Do you think bullets move faster depending on the holder's hockey level? Doesn't make sense to me. Which part of the gun needs to be hardened? It's really more about transferring the hockey to the bullet itself. I don't think the gun needs to be hardened at all.
Unless they use hockey in order to make it gain more velocity, I would say.
Yeah, like if your will is to make it shoot faster, you know what I mean? Like that.
They could push. They could put like hockey into the hit.
Oh, okay.
Before it hits the bullet.
That's how,
like the trigger, like the actual
the trigger
thing that
piece.
knocks it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of making, like, for example, a lot of guns. Well, they have a measure of gunpowder in it to make it explode. An explosion happens to shoot it out, right?
Right.
What if you're able to, like, increase that explosion, increasing the power to push it out, and then you code that bullet with hockey? I don't know. We haven't seen much hockey gunfighters. We're about to see a lot with Shanks' crew, but we'll have to wait to get there. Really.
Listen, I heard Lauren say a hockey spirit bomb at one point.
He did.
So
He did.
I'm all for it.
Hockey can do anything.
I actually believe so. Dude, you think of Future Sight or Observation, the highest level, and the Voice of All Things. You gotta tell me you combine those things. You can't read people's minds. You tell me you can't do that if you combine those things? Because you're able to communicate
I
to
will
the
say
mind
this.
with
I will say this.
Voice of All Things.
People were having a Rio conversation, or Rio, however you pronounce it, and I was kind of trying to figure out how you would use Rio with observation hockey, and being able to flow through other people's minds could be how you do that.
Bro.
I just don't know.
With the Voice of All Things, bro?
Another 2 from Miracle Di Mayo. It says, can't wait to hear your thoughts on the Dami cop-out. We'll get into it.
There's no Dami cop out.
People have been calling it that.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. I get it now.
People have been calling it that.
Yeah.
Another 5 from Villain Dejuiced. One Piece took stock market close, no chat, World War III pending, and a break week. Crying emoji. Monday couldn't have come quick enough. # best part of my week.
Yeah, sorry guys about that. I didn't mean to not go live.
Yeah, we got stuff we got to do sometimes, man. Sorry. Another 5 from Kidadani. Part 2. What hearted part of Kizaru, pause, makes it so that he shoots lasers faster than others? Double pause. Light beams travel at the same speed.
Yeah, this is a debate that we had between, I don't know who it was, but I know it was me versus Seb.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
We were saying how Frankie's light beams are the same speed as Kizaru's.
Oh, yeah. And I was saying it can't be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still agree that it can't be. I don't know. Listen, to me, when you eat the light fruit, you get some clearance. All right? I don't have the scientific reasoning as to why. But if Kizaru and Frankie shot a beam at the same time from the same distance, in my opinion, Kizaru's beam is getting there faster than Frankie.
You know what you sound like? You sound like some of those dudes that go, if I drop a bowling ball and a pencil at the same time, one is going to hit the earth faster than the other. And then you realize you don't know what gravity is.
Listen, man. Y'all tell me, man. Kizaru gonna get that beam faster. It just is.
Random question. What do you guys think is a stronger attack from Kizaru? Like his light beams or his light kick? You think they're the same or one's stronger? Because, like, is it all relative or is it just like, one has more power than the other one? Like him kicking you at the speed of light or him just like shooting you with it? Because I think it's different when he does the barrage ones and he made like the more charged up one.
Yeah.
But like a kick, how does that compare? Is it stronger?
I would say the kick hurts more, in my personal opinion.
But he's asking about the speed specifically, right?
No.
Oh.
I said the power, which has stronger. But yeah.
I like the kicks better, so I'll go with those. just cooler to me.
All right.
All right. You want to get into the chapter?
Yeah, guys, we're gonna get into the SBS right now. And if we don't have too much to say, I'm just gonna jump straight into the chapter, if you guys don't mind. So if you haven't liked the video yet, please like the video. It would mean a lot for us. All right, so I'm not gonna go through every SBS 114 info. I'm just gonna go over the ones that kind of like stick out and that really matter. So this one is going to be about Gecko Moria. So a reader says, is the Kozuki Moria scene in the chapter 1158 cover page actually Gecko Moria? I bet you've received a mountain of questions about this, but please tell us, Odachi. And then Oda says, that's right. I actually wanted to reveal this during the Wano Country arc, but I couldn't find the right opening to fit it in. Based on the information I've given you all so far, Moria was described like this. He once fought with Kaido. After his crew was murdered, he developed a personality that relies on others. He possessed the corpse of the legendary samurai Ryuma and the famous sword Shusui. From those points, you might have imagined he had been to Wano before, but what I really want to share is the reason for his fight against Kaido. When Moria was a young boy, he drifted ashore in Wano. The people of the Ringo region took him warmly because they cherished him and gave him the name Kozuki in honor of his strength. Moria, who had already set out to sea as a pirate, returned to fight Kaido in an attempt to save the people of Wano from his attack. However, he was defeated. After his loss, Moria felt so ashamed that he left Wano without saying a word. The people assumed he had passed and built a grave for him. Since I cut this from the main story, it's just a need-to-know bit of trivia. So, Law, what you think about all this?
I'm happy that Oda clarified it because I don't know how people are going to respond to it, really, or have been responding to it. I like it, the fact that Moria wasn't, in a way, he was more of an honorary Kozuki and not a real Kozuki. He didn't match up to me what I've known about the Kozuki family to be that. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I don't see him in there. But him being adopted as one, because him being stranded and them taking it in, then him falling in love with Wano and wanting to protect it, I'm like, that I agree with more. That I can see more being the truth, which is the truth. So I appreciate Oda clarifying that about the situation and the past, also too about Moria too, of how he got, in a way, his state of being relying on others and getting Ryuma's body and sword and everything. I guess it's I guess you're going back to relying on others, but also, all right, because Kaido took all your crew away from you, but you still love Wano, so you took, all right, the legendary swordsman and his sword with that. So, yeah, I didn't have much thoughts on that aside from this one, but I'm just happy Oda clarified it because it makes more sense to me now that he gave us this background.
All right, Seb?
Yeah, similarly, I think y'all remember I wasn't a huge fan of the Moria Kozuki clan reveal. Him being an honorary Kozuki works better for me, I think, even with Moria's character, because Moria is supposed to be like this warning sign to Luffy when we meet him. And it's good to see that he came from more humble / like wholesome beginnings even. Like he wanted to go back and fight for Wano on behalf of these people that took care of him. Like that's a positive thing for Moria that was a part of his character. This is who he was originally. And we kind of see a little bit of that in his current state where he's spinning the block. Or Absalom and other people in his crew that he started to care about now. So I kind of like that element of him was brought out in this way. And I really didn't like the original, like, oh, he's just related to Odin, because it never made sense to me. Yeah. But him getting this honorary Kozuki makes so much more sense to me for his character anyway. Because obviously he's like an Oni too, like, or something going on with the horns on his head. Maybe, so yeah. I'm like, I don't see how that ever worked, like from being just directly from Wano. Like, it didn't make sense to me. So this works. This makes more sense. And, now it opens up the pathway for him to be other, anything else too. But ultimately, I like that added element to him where he got adopted to this, I thought that was cool. And then Oda kind of tying it all in as far as, like, obviously he's been to Wano, he's fought Kaido. This is why he stole those things. Because now it's like, okay, I took these things maybe and more so to try to come back one day to even take Kaido out versus like I was just salty, So I think it makes Moria's character better. So I had to let Oda cook a little bit, but I ain't like it at first, but I like it now.
Yeah. You got something to say, Law?
Yeah, and I was just gonna add, because I forgot to say on my part. And also, it makes more sense as to, for example, if Moria was raised and part of the Kozuki family, it makes you believe, like, how could he take Ryuma and the blade, right? Because how they all view them, it would be like they all view it as, like, for example, they started viewing Wano as cursed now because they're missing the blade. They weren't honoring that. If someone from the outside who does appreciate Wano but doesn't understand the culture and the history behind what Ryuma did for Wano and all that stuff, I could see more him doing it than someone who was raised up in that and doing saying forget all that history, because it seems everybody in Wano shared that. That's why even they were willing to give up Emma but take Shushi from that. And even though Emma could be viewed as a greater sword because it could be elevated, but what the history with behind Ryuma, it was like, no, this treasure, national treasure of Wano, has to stay back in his birthplace with, Wano. So Moria not from Wano originally, it makes more sense that he would do it.
Yeah, the chat is so funny. My bad, Larry. They're like, wait, so you could just name somebody a Kozuki? And I'm like, well, they technically just naming people D's, right? And they're like, I'm now an honorary Hurley member, family member from now on.
I can't.
Yeah, funny, bro.
Yeah, for me, it was really nice to get confirmation of how Moria showed up in Wano. The fact that he just came ashore, you can't just go to Wano and come ashore. It's literally impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't just make it onto Wano's shores, which means he had to come from somewhere around Wano or near Wano. And the only place that I could really think about is that Moria probably came from Onigashima. Like Sebastian said, there's horns on his head, particularly when it comes to One Piece. Anybody that has horns has to be somewhat an Oni, or they're just part of the ancient giants. To some degree, the blood might be diluted a lot, so you might lose the size, but you might carry some of its characteristics. And I thought that was really nice for Oda to put into our hands, so we don't have to guess where he came from. So I think he's just from Wano area, but he's probably from Onigashima. His size speaks to it, the same way Kaido's size speaks to him about, like, being bigger than others. That's usually a giant feature to some degree, like Buccaneers are too, right? But they don't have horns, but they're part giant. So it just screams out, even with his strength, was abnormal. A lot of giants' strength are just abnormal. So it just makes sense to me that now we're getting that full-fledged Gecko Moria lore. And I really think about it now, like, as well, as knowledgeable as we are in One Piece, neither one of us has ever guessed Moria was in Wano. We always figured, like, he went to Wano.
Yeah.
We never said, like, yo, could he be from Wano?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel kind of like, in hindsight, it's very easy to be like, oh, yeah, he was from here. But now I'm kind of like, damn, I'm kind of dumb. Like, how we not figure that out? Like, it was so easy.
Well, if I remember correctly, Moria's origins say he's from West Blue. Like, it says he's from that ocean. But
Besides,
like, Oda be
the West
lying.
Blue. But if we were to say, like, yo, skip the West Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just skip the West Blue for a second. Right? There were so many key details to say, yo, why would he go back to Wano just to defend it? Like, from Kaido. And, like, we never thought he was defending Wano. Yeah. We just thought that he linked up at Wano, saw Kaido, they banged out, he lost, and then he left. And I just thought it was kind of funny. So,
yeah. They said Lino an honorary TOPT member. Y'all cold, man. Y'all cold.
All right. Bro. So, if you haven't liked the video, please like the video. All right. So the next one is a really big one, and I think this is probably the most hot topic one out of all of the SBS questions. So the reader asks Oda, hello, I've been wondering for a long time, was that hooded figure talking to the Gorosei during the reverie about a certain pirate actually Shanks? Or was it Shamrock? Also, does mermaid poop come from the front or the back? And then Oda says, the back. And yes, it was Shamrock. In the anime, it was actually voiced by Shanks' voice actor, Shuichi Ikeda. I realized, I forgot to tell the anime staff that it's not Shanks, but later I met Shamrock's voice actor, Suda Kenjiro, and thought he's the one for Shamrock. So now I'm thinking it's a good thing I didn't rush to pick a voice actor back then. So, since Seb is writing out a poll, Law, you could take this one. How do you feel about this?
To me, I understand, I guess some people still needed that confirmation. But to me, as soon as they introduced Shamrock, in fact, even before that, when someone put out earlier on, before we even got Shamrock, they didn't notice the scar coming from that side. It could be something else that is not Shanks. I was kind of more in belief this is not Shanks. Because it didn't make any sense for him to be here. You know, how they worded it. People thought, like, oh, because it's you, the way Sengoku said it right here. But it makes more sense than Shamrock. So once especially when Shamrock actually came to be a person, I was like, it's 100% not Shanks, it's Shamrock. It makes more sense for everything else. Like, you know, because whatever, right? So I already knew this. I guess some people still, I think Sebastian might have been one of them that still needed that confirmation, or I don't remember, but you'll say your part anyway. But there's some people still calling Shanks a rat for this. I'm happy Oda cleared up now, because if y'all still thought it was Shanks and not Shamrock, it's like, what are y'all reading? Like, what are y'all understanding from here that y'all still had this confusion about the situation here? You know? But I'm happy this Oda just covered it up. But yeah, I knew all.
Yeah. All right. Seb?
Yeah. I'd say I'm always, you know me, I'm always the 1% man. So it was always a possibility that it was Shanks talking to the Gorosei, even after Shamrock had came up. But I was full in belief that it was Shamrock. But ought to be wild. So, you know. I'm glad we got the confirmation that it wasn't Shanks. I believe that should dead the Shanks rat allegations for everybody. Preston, I'm talking to you, bro. you gotta talk to Rob, man. You gotta talk to Rob, bro. He coming for you. But no, I thought it was cool, like, that we finally got the confirmation of that, and that Oda was thinking back even that far, like with the handling of the voice actors and stuff. Like, I wonder how much stock he puts into that stuff, like, while it's happening, to be like, hey, I need to make sure somebody knows this, but I don't want to reveal something too early. Like, I thought that part of it was more fascinating to me, because, like, he's thinking about the voice actor. And that also tells me that they don't have the same voice then.
No, they don't.
Because they're twins. I mean, obviously, you and Lana don't sound alike, but, like, I figured they would just have the same voice actor to make it easier for them, you know? But if they want to make it so that one is distinguishable from the other with their voice, because they can't really be distinguished physically outside of the scar, I think that works. So I was more in that end of it, because to me it was once we saw Shamrock, that was who that was. But, like, it was still a possibility that it wasn't.
Yeah,
you know, even if it's 1%. But you know me, 1% man.
Yeah. For me, even if it was Shanks and it was still Shanks to this day, I didn't have an issue with it. I'm gonna be straight up. I think because we're starting to guess at what Shanks' goals are, and seeing how he's warned Whitebeard about Blackbeard, I wouldn't be surprised if he knew more about the lore and the future and the prophecy that's on Elbaf, especially since he has a connection to it. And him wanting to take Blackbeard out and probably needing help in finding him at certain points. It just made sense to me that, this is a person that could overtake the government. It wouldn't be better than you guys ruling it right now. So I never had an issue with the rat allegations, but now that the rat allegations are completely absolved, and then we had Shamrock come in, it was already like, that has to be Shamrock, bro. Even the way they were introduced, it was literally the same cloak, the same way they came in, the same face, the same panel, almost, bar for bar.
The question becomes, who was Shamrock talking to them about? Like, that's the bigger, is it Shanks? Like, is he like, because obviously he should have known about Shanks already by that point. Yeah. Right? Based off what we see. So,
he became a Holy Knight.
Yeah, but who was he talking about then?
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. Like, that, it raises different questions.
That does raise the question now. Yeah. So I love the fact that the community is healing.
Healing's a funny term.
I think healing is the right word because of the Mihawk, just the Mihawk glaze that has been overabundantly happening for a long time now. And it was always to discredit Shanks, to say he's not as great as Mihawk. So to get this absolved, it's like, oh, we're starting to see the path as to what's accurate and what's not completely made up to fit the criteria of what you want to believe. So I'm very happy that Shanks is no longer a rat. All the memes can stop. And now we can start talking about Shamrock. And like Sebastian said, who was the pirate that he was talking about? Because now that makes the story even more interesting. So I'm very happy about that.
Lionel tuning in. He says he thinks Shamrock was talking about Blackbeard.
It could be too. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. And if it turns out both brothers are worried about this, that brings up an even further question. Are Shamrock and Shanks actually still cool? And do they discuss amongst each other the worries of the world? Is he leaving Shamrock to handle the Holy Knights to a specific degree? And is he handling the Blue Sea to a specific degree? So they're both keeping peace. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We don't know, but it does make the story very interesting now from the brother perspective of the twins.
Yeah.
Why'd you put Mihawk?
Because Larry said Mihawk's name. I just thought of it. I was like,
he's not a pirate.
Mihawk's technically a pirate. In the most technical sense, he's a pirate.
The only way I can think of, for example, and I don't know what that would mean for them, I can think of Shamrock talking about Mihawk, is that he wants to take away that title of the world's greatest swordsman of Mihawk and claim it for himself, so they have it. But to me, it's like, if he does do that, but the Knights are supposed to be in secret, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's like, does that make sense?
It could have been Loki, but I don't know that we're classifying Loki as a straight up pirate. You know what I mean?
It could be Loki, but
because Shamrock's first mission in the verse was technically to go to Elbaf and ended up communicating with, like, trying to recruit Loki. So it's possible that's who he was referring to. I don't know.
But Loki's also been gone for 8 years.
Like, he would have been gone for 6 years by then, or 4 years by then. I don't know what. When
he would have been captured 4 years.
Yeah. So I'm like,
so it's, why are we worrying about that?
So the only thing is, like, they probably know, because Loki did say he acquired a bounty. So if you acquired a bounty, most likely you may be a pirate.
It was a 2 billion berry bounty.
Yeah. And then they probably know that Shanks is the one that defeated him, and then he's imprisoned on Elbaf. So it's like, yo, he's been here all this time. He probably is not going to have no love. I'm not saying no love, but, like, he may be more vulnerable to joining us.
Yeah, if his goal is to recruit, and I think I did my whole, like, I haven't actually put the theory out, I guess, about, like, Shamrock's targets for new Holy Knights beyond the people we've talked about. Like, would he target people with connections to Shanks? And, like, Loki would be one. Mihawk would be one. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's a valid point, but in my opinion, I feel like the time doesn't match up. If somebody's locked up for the past 4 years after he was defeated, you don't randomly barge into the Gorosei chambers and then start discussing a certain pirate. And then 2 years later, you decide, 2 years and some months later, after 2 Yonko are defeated, you decide to go after Wano and go there and try to sway them into your prophecy battle.
So while you are right, I will say this in support of he was talking about Loki situation. It would be narratively reminiscent of what his father did with the Davy clan and God Valley, where it's like, hey, it took some time before they ended up going to God Valley. Like, I think it was, a year after Shamrock. Is that what he said?
It was basically a year.
Not Shamrock. Wasn't it? Garland said that. They ended up going to God Valley to do the hunting games, or to have the hunting competition. If Shamrock is supposed to be emulating Garling again in this way, he could have brought up Loki, and then 2 years later, we're finally getting to, okay, I can do the mission on Elbaf and try to do it. But, I don't know, that's me just kind of piecing things together versus having a real...
So what was going on during that? Because the Paramount War just ended, right?
Well...
Was this during the
This is immediately after the war.
Yeah, it's during the Reverie, right?
In general, I don't think the Reverie was happening yet, but in general, we'll get into more here, but the God's Knights aren't so great. Like, if he just wants to have better stuff going on, better people on their side, like, Gunko's talking about how crucial Elbaf is to the end game of this thing, the final war, who's going to be on what side. And it's like, hey, that could be the key to winning this thing. There's a pirate that we know is strong at the minimum. What do we want to do? Like, we have somebody who's basically, like, anti-Shanks, at least, like, out there. He's just a sitting, I don't say sitting duck, but he's just like he's a weapon of mass destruction in the terms of, like, you know, how admirals move pieces or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, we might even lose an admiral right now. Like, we have a guy out there who doesn't have ties to any specific faction, but does have ties to Elbaf, who we're trying to recruit. Like, let's make it happen.
So the point I guess I'm having a hard time with is that if you know he's locked up and your goal is to make him a holy knight, why not just go there immediately? Because they didn't decide to start doing all this child hostage situation until after Loki decided, hey, I'm not joining ya. So they were like, okay, so if we're not going to get Loki on our side and do what his father did, then I'm going to coerce all of Elbaf into this hostage situation to rule under us. They waited 4 years to do all of this.
You're right. I think the stakes have just increased for Emu after Luffy awakened. Like, everything's different for him now. Like before that happened, the world was still in the balance of power still existed. The warlord still existed. There was still 3 Yonko with another potential coming up with Blackbeard or whatever. Like, they were still in this relative status quo of what the world is. Now, things have been escalated and elevated, and just the timeline's being moved up, where it's like, hey, we need to start acting on some of this stuff. Oh, remember that thing Shamrock said a couple years ago about this super strong guy? Let's see what's good with that. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need more. If we got Nika coming back and Yonkos are falling now, the Doflamingo's gone, the balance of power, people are like, all of this stuff is going kind of crazy right now. We need more than what we got. So let's circle back to the stuff that Shamrock brought up a couple years ago. I mean, this is all just me thinking of how it could make sense, but
I think the threat level that's positioned right now to the world government regarding Nika and regarding all these things, the prophecy was still known. I just don't think that there's enough urgency it was very easy to just go to Elbaf for them. They could have done it at any point, any time. If they wanted to do it, they would have just done it. So if there's no urgency, I don't get why they wouldn't. Like, for example, you brought up the Garland thing, right? There was urgency around that because once it was found out that the Davy clan was residing there, a year later they came and they went through and did their own thing. With this Loki situation, if they know the prophecy is going to be what it is, bam, we go there immediately. We try to recruit him. If not, then we take all of Elbaf hostage because he's not going to join. So it'll be much easier. Instead, they waited 4 years. I just don't think that matters.
Well, now it comes down to if we're getting the timeline right with Shamrock and this first appearance with the Gorosei. Like, if that is during the Reverie, which it might have been, because I'm trying to remember. I was remembering it as pre-time skip. But if it happened post-time skip, then it's all just happening now. The urgency is just now. I don't remember when that chapter happened. 11:37? My bad. I'm taking too much time on this.
Yeah.
2 seconds. I don't know. I think either way it works. I think it works better. No, that's not. It can't be that one. During the Reverie. It was during the Reverie. That's what Shankton is telling me. And he's the biggest Shanks guy I know. So I'm going to take his word for it. So yeah, it was happening during the Reverie. So it's more recent though.
Yeah. I think it's just still a long time.
Okay.
I think it's just still a long time.
From the Reverie to now? No.
Yeah. I still think it's a long time. I still think it's a long time, bro.
Is it even a couple weeks? The Reverie until right now? It's like... First of all, Lelucia happened right after the Reverie happened. Like, it's a couple days maybe later.
Yeah.
It feels long.
It does feel long.
It feels long.
It does feel long.
But in canon, it's a couple days to get the sign off on this.
We're probably wrong about the timeline, but
no.
it just feels long.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I don't even know if we should talk about the Shiki thing, because the Shiki thing is really like a Lionel thing, and Lionel's not here.
Shiki gang forever.
So we'll just skip it. Let's read some super chats, and then we'll go into the chapter. We'll stop at like 6:45.
Okay. All right. We got 5 from Franco Cervantes. It says, an honorable mention to top trash takes Luffy's Bajran gun can't penetrate through 7 jacks. This was said by Larry earlier last year on the pod. What?
What'd I say?
Luffy's Bajran gun can't penetrate through 7 jacks. You'd have to clip it. I don't even remember it. I'm trying to even think about this in canon.
I really don't remember that.
I don't remember it at all.
But I was clearly wrong.
7 jacks.
If I did say it, I was wrong.
I mean, Jack's stronger than... let me stop. Another 8 months at knock'em status from Luis Lopez. It says, Frankie versus Jack.
Right now?
I mean, we'll get into the Frankie buff, but I'm gonna
go Frankie.
I might go Frankie with the Vega Cola.
Yeah, I'll go Frankie.
Go Frankie.
Yeah.
It's close, though. Another 10 from Reggie J. Hey, fellas, still a fan. Goats. And keeping up with the pod life, just want to be on one lately and had a car accident this past Wednesday, but you know what conquerors do. Dang, Reggie, man, I hope you're all right, bro. Hope the car's good.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it wasn't your fault. And stay safe out there, guys. Truly. You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't hit the chat? Maybe you did. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well and you're doing good. And I hope nobody was in the car with you and you didn't hurt anybody else. I'm just glad you're here.
Yeah. Another 5 from 3 Sword Style. It says, what Seb said last on the Worst Take stream was crazy. Hashtag stay away from your aunt. Hashtag the twins are the real freaks. What I said wasn't that crazy, bro. Larry don't even remember what I said, Loki. I'm not going to repeat it here.
You mean about Daenerys?
Nah, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was I'm not going to say it. Another 5 from Benji 1K. Cashing my Lionel parlay. I'm praying he's here. Got my house and dog on the line. Hashtag let's go top. Hashtag save my home. Oh, man. Cashing on a Lionel parlay is crazy, bro. You got to take the unders every time. Every time.
He ain't making it.
Every time. Another 2 from Reggie J. Dang beans, we not cool no more. Listen, you didn't even tell me about your situation until just now, bro. You know? Stay safe. Another 5 from Nightmare Dreamings, but no super chat attached. Next time, let us know your thoughts. Another 5 from Smooth Weave. When Harold's covenant was broken and he let Loki hit him, suppose Loki didn't hit him, would Gaban or Shanks been able to off him by attacking him then? Like together or either or?
I didn't get the question. Let me read it. You don't have to say it again.
Okay. I would say... See, I just don't know if Shanks at that time had the pop. That's my fear. Like, at the time. I'd say Gaban probably had the pop. Maybe not off him. The thing is, like, if it's in the context of, like, how the Dami Reversi works, it's just not the same. So, like, I don't know. I'm gonna go yeah for Gaban, no for Shanks at the time. And I don't know why I'm doing that other than Gaban glaze. But yeah.
I would say yeah.
For
I think for both, yeah.
Okay.
Able to off him. I think it would have to be a combined attack though. Just based off of the damage output that Thorheim basically put
Hold
out.
on. If you're saying it's a combined, then you don't believe that then. Because I'm saying individually. Gaban could individually do it. I don't think Shanks could individually do it. If you're saying it has to be a combined attack, then you don't think either of them could do it individually.
I don't think either of them could utilize Conqueror's Hockey at that moment to damage Harold the way he needed to be damaged.
Okay.
I think because Loki has the ability to do this Thorheim plus the Conqueror's Hockey, the damage output happens to be way more effective, like the area of it, compared to where Gaban and Shanks would just do like a precise cut.
Yeah, like Harold made himself susceptible to taking normal, like, devil fruit damage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not
exactly.
just normal, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a nail could have hurt him in that mode type of a thing. Yeah, I'm just not sure, man. Like, I'm going to say yes for Gaban. I'm going to say no for Shanks just because I think Shanks got significantly stronger after then, while Gaban was just closer to his peak or prime.
How do I say this then? It's like, you know how Android 20 ended up punching a hole through Yamcha when the androids first came through to West City?
Yes.
Okay. That's essentially what happened, right? that's essentially what would happen with Gaban and Shanks. They have a lot of destructive power, but it's very pinpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Where Goku ended up doing the warp Kamehameha, and then he did it to Cell's face, but it took off like his body.
His whole like upper torso was
yeah,
gone. Yeah.
like both of them are super dangerous. Both of them would murk you. But when somebody has like regeneration, you need to have like a larger output of power. That way, the regeneration can't take hold immediately. You know?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's how I think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I am mad at that.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to it. Let's start reading the chapter.
All right.
Okay, so this week, guys, if you haven't liked the video yet on YouTube, please like the video. This week's chapter doesn't include a reader request. Instead, we get a color spread featuring all of the Straw Hats. Nothing in particular stands out that hints at what's happening in the story. It's really just the Straw Hats being themselves. So, Seb, did you have any thoughts on the color spread?
The only thing I had was that I thought it was cool that they paid homage to like a previous chapter cover spread. Like, I don't know what volume it was exactly. It might have been volume like 12 or something, but I thought it was cool. Like, I like when Oda does that to kind of show the growth of the crew over time. Like, there's so many more members now, you know, what the Straw Hats at that time look like now. Like, I kind of just like when he does that. But I thought that was cool. And then, I don't know, it's not always present, but I think they had like a live action version too. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Law, do you have any thoughts about the color spread?
No, not really. I thought it looked nice, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. I was just trying to figure out mostly where the Straw Hats were, like as in which Straw Hat was where, like trying to find Usopp and all them. But besides that, I thought it resembled another color spread like they did the one in the past. Me and Lano saw that, and that was about it.
All right. Yeah, I didn't have any deep thoughts about it. I really enjoyed it. The vertical spread especially stood out. It's the kind of like artwork that would make great phone wallpaper or even like a poster that you could print out. So that's about it. Since that's so short, we're just going to jump right into the first part of the chapter. The chapter opens with the title, With Pride. We immediately see the aftermath of Loki's Thorheim attack. Frankie shouts out amid the devastation, wondering what kind of party is going on wherever that massive explosion happened. He also asks Lilith what she's up to, and whether the box she's looking through also contains Vegapunk. Lilith responds telling Frankie she's glad she left it here by the school. She then pulls out two circular inventions and explains that they're called ODCs, Omni Drain Converters. According to Lilith, the ODC's hovering function should work on Elbaf. She tells Frankie and Bonnie to feel it. There's energy everywhere around them. Lilith then asks Frankie if he's ever run off a more potent fuel than cola. Frankie is confused by the question. We then cut to where the Straw Hats are. One of them shouts that the fire is spreading and calls the situation a nightmare, like the whole world is ending today. They also ask if anyone else saw that dragon, because it's even bigger than Kaido. Usopp grabs his head and yells that he clearly saw Luffy riding on top of that dragon, so it must be on their side, right? Jinbei and Nami rush past, and Nami calls Luffy an idiot, saying he doesn't have a single thought in his head. She asks Zeus if he's ready, and Zeus replies, sure thing. Jinbei comments that something about the situation extremely dangerous and that they should hurry, especially now that the children are out of harm's way. Meanwhile, Robin checks on an injured Saul, lying on his back. Saul apologizes and says he knows he has to get up. Sanji appears beside him and asks him if he's all right. Nami then says, all right, Zeus, here we go. The mission is critical. We see that both the Walrus School and the Owl Library are on fire. Nami orders Zeus to put the flames out. Zeus grows large and says he's absorbed plenty of water and is ready. Sanji immediately goes into love mode, showering Nami with compliments. Nami raises her climb attack and shouts, pouring rain tempo, as heavy rain begins drenching the entire area. Robin urges Nami and Zeus to hurry. Saul is shocked that it's suddenly raining with Zeus while Zeus unleashes a massive downpour. But then another Holy Knight appears, St. Killingham, riding one of his sleep tids. He accuses the Straw Hats of breaking their word and asks who said they were allowed to put the fire out. Nami screams in fear as the monster St. Killingham is riding and tells Zeus to watch out. St. Killingham declares that they promise to cast aside the history of the world, and in the next moment, the sleep tid devours Zeus. Saul says that creature can't be a snake, it's a lindworm. Nami panics, worried about Zeus. Sanji shouts that Zeus was their only hope for putting out the fire and demands to know who St. Killingham is. Jinbei wonders if St. Killingham is one of the 3 demons. Then we hear a voice say, "Activate ODC." Jinbei looks confused. And with that being the first part of the chapter, since Lionel is not here, we'll start with Seb.
All right. I always like when the crew is in this like hijinks mode where they're kind of dealing with a problem together as a group. I always really just enjoy that. So when it's the beginning of a chapter and not the end of the chapter, I kind of like it better. So I was cool with seeing that. Their reaction to Loki made me laugh because I'm like, if you don't know nothing, you don't know nothing that's going on, and like this giant, they know about Loki. They don't know he's a giant dragon. They don't know nothing. They just see Luffy on this ginormous thing, and they're just like, "What the hell is that?" Like, it's so funny to me. I did think it was funny because I gotta come at you a little bit, Larry.
Go ahead.
I gotta do it. You did all this like math and stuff. You were trying to figure out who was bigger between the magma dragon Kaido and Loki, and they were like, in the original translation I read, it's like, "Oh, I think dwarfs Kaido." I was like, "Dang." That's so funny. This one, it didn't say dwarfs, so I'll say that. And I'm not sure how many people actually saw Magma Dragon Kaido, so I'll give a little bit of credence there. But in general, I just thought it was funny when I read that.
Yeah.
I did like seeing, like when it started off with the chapter with Bonnie on Frankie. I thought that was so cool, so cute, because it made me think of a couple things. One, oh man, where are my notes? One, Frankie's always been like the uncle of the crew. So like Bonnie being this like young daughter kind of figure, clinging to him is pretty dope to me. I'm also an uncle. I've had those moments with my nieces, so that's pretty cool. Him being a cyborg is probably like a subconscious comfort to her, with Kuma being a cyborg as well. And it made me think a little deeper about Bonnie's future, because I'm like really excited to see her interact with the other children on Elbaf. Because when this is all said and done, if Bonnie's not coming with the crew, she's probably going to stick behind on Elbaf, because this is where Vegapunk's going to set up shop / probably bring Kuma back. So if this is where Bonnie's going to be, it's good to know that there's going to be other kids that she can play with, because she's essentially had her childhood ripped away from her, going on this journey to try to find her father and everything. So I really, really like that as an element. Like when I first read the chapter, I didn't think of it at all. I just was like, oh, this is a cool moment between like that Bonnie's behind Frankie. This is dope, right? But then I was like, like Bonnie might stay back. Bonnie should be here. She'll be interacting with the kids. And we've had so much Elbaf kid stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like, she hasn't been a part of any of that. And I'm like, I don't want to say she should be, because that was kind of wild, but I would like to see her interacting with those kids. And what's even better is like she can use a Nika form, and like they have knowledge of Nika. Like I just think that's really cool. Like I think that's a really, really dope thing that could happen. And I have a little bit more to say about some elements of that a little later, but I'll keep it there. Vegapunk was like, wait, hold on. Might be jumping ahead. Seconds. Energy piece. Oh yeah, so the energy piece is the start. Vegapunk talking about the energy reminded me of the conversation that they were having about harnessing energy on Egghead. And it got me really thinking about like, if they're going to be using this energy in a specific way. We see one way a little bit later in the chapter, but like overall, Vegapunk has bigger goals. Vegapunk's like trying to create Mother Flames. Vegapunk's trying to harness energy sources that have never been harnessed before. What does it mean for the future of the story as a whole, the future of the One Piece world as a whole, that Vegapunk is on Elbaf and having access to this other energy, you know? So I don't know what it means. Could we potentially be getting another Mother Flame in the short future? I don't know. The ODC's technology is kind of crazy in general. I started thinking about like, we'll get more to that later, I guess, but like what could be done with that?
Yeah.
Not even just like for Vegapunk, but for even in this arc with other crewmates potentially. That's kind of it. A lot of my other stuff kind of goes with some of the later parts that's going to happen. So I'll pass to Lawrence.
Yeah, Law?
Yeah, same. Likewise with Sebastian, the film parts. So there's something I want to say about the energy part, but it's heavily tied to like the connection of both of them. So I'll just save that for later. I'll just say the little bit that I have here. Like you said, comparing how they seeing this dragon compared to like Kaido, because also too, most of them have seen Kaido in his dragon form mostly, and not necessarily his hybrid form. So mostly seeing this, so now seeing that dragon now, this dragon, and now, but they're seeing that this dragon seems to be on their side. You know, where so now do we have to face another dragon? We just came back from one. You know, with Kaido and everything, right? When you bringing out the Bonnie piece, I low-key forgot Bonnie was here. I'm not
You
gonna
didn't see
lie.
Bonnie?
I forgot. I was like, oh yeah. I see her on top of Frankie's head. I was like, oh yeah, Bonnie is here.
She was so cute. You didn't see that, right?
No,
Yeah.
I saw. That's what reminded me that Bonnie was here. But this entire time, we got God Valley, we got Rocks. I wasn't thinking of Bonnie. Like she was non-existent to me. It wasn't until this moment I was like,
God
oh,
Valley
yeah.
had her daddy in there, man.
But yeah, I forgot about her. But it also reminded me actually of because we all know the aggression she had towards Vegapunk early on, and now seeing how she just calmly in here. But we know her father's memories. I guess seeing Vegapunk's response to that he wasn't this villain that just took your father away from you. He was kind of forced into it, but also how brokenhearted Vegapunk was to do all this, right? Seems to have calmed her down, where she's able to hang with this version of Vegapunk now without any aggression and seeing with the father's memories and also with Frankie. So also too, because we know she's kind of with Kuma. Where Kuma body is right now, I don't quite remember. Is it still on the ship or somewhere? I don't know, because maybe even I'm thinking like maybe this energy that they're about to talk, because like you're trying to revive Vegapunk. I wonder if you could do something with Kuma.
Yeah.
You know, with this energy that you're showing. But we'll see about that if they're gonna get to that later on. So I thought about that, and it makes you think of, like you said, how these situations of like, I like how the only one, not that he is, but the only one seems to be freaking out because all what they're dealing with only seems to be Usopp, right? You talk about the Yonko crew. All of them are kind of like, we're kind of used to this already now. Mm-hmm. We're always in it. Luffy's in the center of it, and we always have these wild situations on this island, and we have to deal with, we have to overcome it. This is the same old one-on-one. Usopp's freaking out because how big that dragon was, but they're all kind of just running as business as usual. Like Nami even says, he has no thought in the world because he's riding in that dragon. Granted, she doesn't know the situation that it's actually Loki and ally, whatever, but it's just like, let's get to it, let's get to work. How can we help in this aid and try to solve this problem, what's happening on that, right? So that made me laugh, right? And I thought it was cool what Nami doing to try to take care of the whole rain, and then Zeus getting that big. I thought, though, why didn't just Jinbei just use the water manipulation thing that he did on from Zeus, the water was raining down from Zeus, like he did from the Ninja Scroll in Wano? Remember when Zunisha, all the water that was raining down, and the Ninja Scroll, he absorbed it and let it out to watch that? I was like, yo, all that rain that's coming down from Zeus, Jinbei, you're a water manipulator. Just use that to like kind of flood and take waterbend, yeah, take all that water. I was like, why not? That's interesting that you didn't try to or think to do it, or I don't know. Like that to me, that would say
it did seem like there was much more water to play with.
I guess so.
With Raizo, it was also
there was a lot of water
already. Like
I know
combined.
Huge. Yeah,
he would have to like take all the individual raindrops into one.
I guess.
And then try to, you know what I'm saying?
I guess it would be a harder feat because that's like a whole body of water. These are all single drops. But I thought it would have been cool that seeing him do that because we've seen he can do that with the seawater and that. Yeah. But even with rain, I feel like it would have elevated like what he's able to do with water as an even raindrops. Because we've seen too, he's able to make water bullets with just a little bit of water. But now you have it pouring on. Combine all that water, like waterbend, like you said, and then kind of wash that all out. I feel like it would happen faster. Where you have this massive fire and it's a bunch of rain, heavy rain, but it's just drops coming at it. Where Jinbei could combine it and make it like, flow throughout it. I thought it would have been cool to see him do that. And I was kind of waiting for it. I didn't get it. I was just like, I kind of wish that was a thing, Yeah. But besides from the other parts, that's what I have for now until we move on.
Yeah, I absolutely loved the beginning of the chapter. I've been waiting for what feels like forever to see what Lilith and Frankie and Bonnie have been doing. Ever since the mural was mentioned, and we learned there was a first world, and then discovered there was a structure that was 3,000 years old, I've been itching to find out what's really happening around that area. At first, I thought Lilith was about to like pull out a Stella Vegapunk, but instead, she revealed these Omni Drain converters. Initially, I didn't think much of it, but the moment Lilith asked Frankie and Bonnie if they could feel the energy around them, everything clicked for me. It was the same thing that Sebastian came up with, and here's why. When we first met Vegapunk, he explained to Luffy, Chopper, and Jinbei that his dream was to build a world where energy is abundant, available, and free to access around the globe. Of course, Luffy didn't really get it, right? He was like, I don't care. Jinbei then explained to his captain that the world's energy resources are constantly fought over, and then it's used to fuel conflicts and wars between nations. So Vegapunk excitedly tells Jinbei, that's exactly right. He like starts pointing, right? And that's why mankind is so foolish. And then Vegapunk goes, reach out and feel all around you. And he's like, reach around the air. He's like, energy is here, there, anywhere, and everywhere. The world is absolutely brimming with it. If humanity could simply convert that energy into a usable power source, it would eliminate all of this fuel of war. Because everybody now would have energy. There would be no reason to fight. So Vegapunk says that one day science will reach that lofty realm. So he even tells Luffy that the harder he strives to find this energy, the closer he gets to the same power source that once powered Emmett, the ancient energy source. So when Lilith says the exact same thing to Frankie and Bonnie, just feel it. It's everywhere around you. That's energy. I knew she was unveiling an invention that actually converts that surrounding energy. And that's exactly what the Omni Drain converters were designed to do. Even the name supports it, right? Like Omni means all things. Drain means to drain from or use up as a resource. And then converter means to change something from one form into another. So Vegapunk created devices that can literally draw energy from everything or anything around them and convert it into usable power. That also connects back to something Vegapunk said earlier, that the closer he came to finding this power source, the closer he came to the ancient energy, which we now know is associated with like the Mother Flame. And it connects even further. When we first saw the Mother Flame, right, and it was encased in that container, there were the lettering A and MU. It appeared, right? And then interestingly, that's a Japanese wordplay for atom from Atamu. Then later we saw Imu use the Mother Flame to destroy Lucia, a devastating weapon used in war. All of that made this moment incredibly hype for me. If the ODCs are truly tapping into that same concept of universal energy, we might be looking at a major breakthrough tied directly to Vegapunk's ultimate dream. I was seriously excited reading this part of the chapter, and honestly, I hope we spend more time with Lilith's moving forward. Because I can also add to this. OCDs are very similar to another invention on Skypiea.
The dials, right?
Dials, thank you, my boy. Yes. So dials were strange yet mysterious devices with the ability to store matter and energy. It makes me wonder if Vegapunk drew inspiration for the OCDs from dials. Now, I also believe this might be a part of what makes Uranus, the ancient weapon, a weapon. I believe it might just be a very humongous OCD. But I'm gonna go more into something else later.
I have a question for you with what you're saying right now, and I thought back to it when you were saying everything you were just saying just now. A couple chapters ago, we saw Colin playing with a toy of Emmett. And like you said, this is the energy source that powered the ancient giant. Do you believe that the energy source is native specifically to Elbaf?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I was like,
I don't know.
Okay, does it need to be Elbaf?
I think the next part, I probably might have something, but I don't know.
Okay.
It could, I think Emmett's energy source could be almost anything, if not the purest of energy, which is very close to the Mother Flame.
Okay.
All right, so Lawrence brought this up too. So let me touch on what Usopp. No. Before I touch up on Usopp, I wanna touch up on Kaido. what Usopp said about Loki's dragon form being bigger than Kaido. Let's dive into that. So
Okay.
everyone in our community has constantly pushed back on my take that Kaido is still bigger than Loki. I understand. People want to see me take an L. That back and forth is what makes the show great. And honestly, I appreciate the energy. But the criticism still misses an important point. From the moment Loki was introduced, I've consistently said that Kaido in his regular dragon form is not bigger than Loki in his dragon form. I've said that many times, numerous times. My actual argument has always been that Kaido may only surpass Loki in size when he enters his flame dragon torch form. Now that the setup is right in front of us, let's look at the statement being used as evidence. Usopp, or one of the Straw Hats present, whoever said it, says the dragon they saw was bigger than Kaido's dragon. But here's the real question. Did any of those Straw Hats ever see Kaido in his flame dragon torch form?
In the flame dragon torch?
Yes, sir. It could be a yes or no.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I am gonna say no.
Law?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure after like Luffy punched him down,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of like got out of that form.
Yeah.
So even if they saw for that whatever second how fast Kaido was flying down, I don't think he was in that form now. So I would say no to.
Okay. So, if everyone that's on the other side of the screen, I know you all hate me a little bit. If you go back to chapter 1048, when Kaido first activates Flame Dragon Torch, you'll notice something important. The only characters who actually witnessed that form were Yamato, Momonosuke, Luffy, Nekomamushi, and Inuyasha. When Luffy finally defeats Kaido, Kaido's already falling into the volcano. Nekomamushi then has to shout to everyone beneath them within the upper skull dome that Luffy smashed Kaido deep into the earth. In other words, none of the Straw Hats ever saw Flame Dragon Torch at all. Because of that, their comparison is naturally based on Kaido's standard dragon form, not his Flame Dragon Torch state. That's why my stance still holds. Usopp's statement is true to a degree. Loki is bigger than Kaido in his regular dragon form. I've said that. But that doesn't necessarily mean Loki is bigger than Kaido in Flame Dragon Torch form. If you go back and look at chapter 1049 and you really study Kaido's scale in those panels, it's clear he's much larger than many people have seen or assume. So the debate isn't settled yet. I'm sorry you feel that way. Loki may be bigger than standard Dragon Kaido, but Flame Dragon Torch Kaido might still be on another level entirely. Now, you can all go back to being upset at evidence and proof presented to you by facts. Much love. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm kind of bothered by how the library and the school have supposedly been burning since chapter 1149. Even when the fire first started, we saw that it was inside the library. At the time, we were coming off the Harley text being highlighted and the mural being introduced. So when the library caught fire, I was honestly disappointed because it felt like all that information was now gone. Now we're 26, like even a child was involved, like offing herself. You know what I'm saying? So now we're 27 chapters later. The giant children have literally walked across the entire map. I get you.
Flashback through a lot of that.
For us, it's 27 chapters later. The children have literally walked across the entire map of Elbaf, right? And then Oda's like, nah, yo, everything could still be saved. I already accepted that we probably wouldn't get the Harley text or the accurate history revealed to us through it. That said, I really liked Nami getting her moment. I really did. Anytime Nami is given something to do in the story, she usually ends up having a really strong highlight. Also, a lindworm is another type of dragon. You guys didn't know.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's typically depicted as a wingless dragon. Oda really loves dragons.
You really do.
Yeah.
You gotta get over it, bro.
Yeah. But that's it. That's it for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Soups. All right. We got 12 months at Yonko status from Fatty G's. It says, like these stream boys with a bunch of Garp and Shanks emojis. Yeah, man. And when you're in Yonko, you can use the Shanks and Garp emojis. You know what I'm saying? Another 10 from Chris Hewitt. It says, NakamaCon 2026 in Panama Beach City, October 15th through 18th. If you guys want to party like a pirate, by fans for the fans, lots of activities, and fun time beach games, One Piece, alcoholic beverages. That sounds like a good time. I'll put it on my calendar and see if I can make it out there. Because I don't think I've ever been at Panama Beach.
Sounds fun.
All right. We got another 21 months at Nakama status from Misery Avenue. It says 21, 21, 21. Welcome, man. 21 months is a long time. So I hope you're enjoying it, Misery. Another 5 from Nightmare Dreamings. My mom got into a car accident. Luckily, the crash was only Covenant Herald level. Hashtag he was harmless. Thanks for the memes. Hashtag just kidding, she's good. Well, I hope your mom's good. I don't know if you're serious that she got into an accident or not. I hope not. But if she's fine, then it's all good regardless. Covenant Herald level is hilarious. Dude, yeah, so silly.
I'm trying to understand.
That's so silly. They just troll Larry, man. That's all they do. That's all they do these days. Another 5 from Misery. Was rewatching the recent top 30 and laughed so hard at Lionel calling Seb Anika. Laughing emoji. You guys crack me up. Yeah, I wish Lionel was here, man. I really would have liked to get his thoughts on this chapter. I'm going to have to connect with him. Another 12 months at Nakama status from Nando to Universal. 1 year as a member. Plenty more to go. Hashtag topped. Hashtag AO. Welcome, man. I hope you're enjoying being a Nakama Nando. Seems like you are. You said plenty more to go, so we'll be here as long as you are, man. Another 5 from Retro. It says, appreciate y'all top boys, and shout out to the Gotta Hate 'Em podcast for their 100th episode. Yeah, man, shout out to Gotta Hate 'Em, man. Shmeem and the boys over there. Our guys, man. I get all their clips on Instagram. I love them, bro. I hit like. I don't even be watching.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. Oh, man. Those are guys, man. If you guys aren't following, please follow. Gotta Hate 'Em. Another 5 from Big Meatball. Yo, how far would It's Just About Hockey have to go before it gets ridiculous? Example, Pedro comes back to life and he just says, it's because of hockey. That would be too far.
Yeah, too far.
We're like, that's like 6 levels too far.
Yeah,
me.
that's too much.
Already. Can't just be bringing
people don't
back.
already pass in One Piece like that anyway, so.
Pedro died like, I want to say like 400 chapters ago.
I'm going to keep it a bug. If Pell survived, Pedro survived, yo.
It's just hockey, man. It's terrible. They Sulong minked him back somehow.
Listen, bro, whatever.
I wouldn't drop, but I'd take a break. I'd miss a week or two.
If Pell survived
Listen,
that nuke,
yo,
he could survive that little dynamite blast, bro. Serious.
Don't wish that evil on me, man. Don't wish that on us.
Shout out
bro.
to Pound staying alive.
We don't deserve that. We don't. We just don't.
Yeah. Let's read one more and then we'll go into the chapter again.
All right. Another 5 from Knowles D. Go. It says, Happy Monday, Topped. Love the pod. Thank you. I'm always at the gym during the live. How's my monthly salary? Hashtag throat goat peace talk. Hashtag a throat is a throat. That's probably our worst hashtag. That's got to be our worst one. It's got to be.
Crazy you made it.
Hey, man. Sometimes we say things.
Yeah.
But
All right. If you haven't liked the video yet, please like the video. We're going to get into the second part of the chap. So we jump back into the chapter. And the first thing we hear is, collect that energy. Suddenly, 3 Omni Drain converters come flying out, absorbing the flames. As they pass through the area, everything they touch begins to freeze over. Another Omni Drain converter even absorbs lightning. St. Killingham nervously asks what these devices are. Then we get a full shot of the Walrus School and the Owl Library, both completely frozen. The fires have been extinguished. Robin has no idea what any of this means. Meanwhile, Saul, while carrying some of the Straw Hats, says the path is clear and the fires are out. We then see Lilith catch the Omni Drain converter that absorbed the lightning. She explains that all natural disasters are essentially a maelstrom of energy. Lilith then transfers the lightning energy into a cola bottle and tosses it to Frankie once it's full, telling him to try using it. Frankie catches the bottle, looks at it, and says it feels like it's about to burst. I'm about to bust. Lilith tells him she calls it Super Vega Cola. She explains that Frankie's innards are immaculately designed, just as advanced as the pacifistas, which is why she was shocked to learn that he only uses regular cola as a power source. She continues saying, "You see, fuel is passion. Use this stuff and your raw power will explode." Frankie looks at Lilith nervously. Inside the lindworm's belly, Zeus complains that it's too dark. He screams for Nami to help him, and Nami says she'll save him. Robin then asks Saul if he can get them to the library. Saul, while wheezing, says of course. He knows Robin must be worried about the world history and the treasures of O'Hara. Meanwhile, Silk Killingham laughs to himself and orders the lindworm Sleeptid to devour the library. He wants them to lose all hope. In his mind, only when history is erased can the new world truly begin. Jinbei dives in and tells Nami he'll rescue Zeus. His fist should be enough to free him. St. Killingham notices Jinbei and mocks him, saying fishmen are the ugliest species in the world. He even jokes that he might puke, which is why it's a good thing he's wearing a mask. Sanji hears this and immediately resents Killingham's elitist mindset. He says he expects nothing less from a celestial dragon. For insulting Jinbei, who is renowned for his achievements and a proud member of the Straw Hats, Sanji vows to put a hole in Killingham's mask. At the same time, Frankie launches into the air and shouts for everyone to look at his hops. His muscles are screaming with power, and he claims that any monster he hits will cry from a single punch. Frankie readies his attack. Jinbei prepares a punch as well, while Sanji ignites his leg. The lindworm turns towards Frankie. St. Killingham suddenly notices Sanji flipping through the air toward him. Frankie unleashes Super Strong Dexter, smashing the lindworm in the face and knocking its head completely off. Jinbei follows up with Fishman Karate, Secret Art, Vagabond Drill. You want to do the...
Send me what a second!
Punching the lindworm in the gut, Zeus comes flying out through the hole in the lindworm's neck. Sanji finishes it with Ifrit Jambe, Konkase Crush. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. Crushing St. Killingham's head and completely shattering his mask. And that's it for the second part of the chapter. So, Seb, let's start with you and hear your thoughts.
All right. Frankie getting a Vegapunk upgrade is great and much needed to me. I like that he got it in the form of cola because it reminded me of like Quantum Nuka-Cola from Fallout.
It did.
Yeah,
I was gonna text you and I was like, nah, I shouldn't text him.
Yeah, it's funny because I have the bottles now at the house. Yeah. I was like, yo, Frankie just like
he has a Nuka-Cola.
Yeah, he got the glowing one, man. That's so dope. But it's shaking as wild. I wanted to say in general, like the Saul and Robin part with the books, I thought was dope. And I guess I could have brought this up earlier, but considering like they're so traumatically like trying to figure out like how to save the books because of everything that's happened with them, and then for it to be Ice, that like solved the problem is so like ironic because the whole beef is with Aokiji freezing Saul. I thought that was great. I thought that was a nice little touch by Oda to do that.
So I was like, oh.
It's like having PTSD.
He doesn't even go to the underworld.
Remember, Robin got froze too later on.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, I did like Sanji's reaction to Killingham's comments on Fishman and him like truly embracing Jinbei on the crew now. There's some conversation about this from some other YouTubers as well, but in general, like, I like how he spoke throughout the chapter because he didn't say like that's my Nami earlier. He was like that's our Nami, like representing of the crew. Yeah. Same thing with Jinbei here. Sanji's like showed an antagonistic like view towards Jinbei after hearing the flashback on Fishman Island, and like it's good to see like he's progressing along in that relationship with him as they kind of continue on here.
Handing out a lot of affirmations.
Yeah.
Except to Zoro. but
That'll happen later. Killing him seemingly being a fishman but hating fishmen is bizarre, but like self-hatred is an interesting and welcome topic for Oda to bring into the fold here, I'd say. Especially with the Celestial Dragon. It's a nice twist. We could be wrong and maybe killing him just isn't a fishman, but I'm leaning towards he is.
Yeah.
The real question is, does he know that he's a fisherman, or is this a Chappelle Show Clayton Bigsby situation? If you know, you know. Also, not recognizing Jinbei is kind of crazy. Like, I know you're living in a different world as a Holy Knight and like a, what do you call it? Celestial Dragon, like you're up there, but like I expect you to like be knowledgeable of the most famous fish person in the world. Like, bro,
why?
It's not just that he's a Celestial Dragon, he's a Holy Knight. Like, you're in charge of stuff, protecting us. Like, this is your job. You're actively out in the world right now because we need you. You don't know who Jinbei is? Jinbei's literally one of the most famous people in the world. Like, one of the top, like, 50 most famous people in the world.
If I was a Celestial Dragon, I wouldn't care, bro.
But it's not just he's a Celestial Dragon, he's a Holy Knight.
I get it.
I guess, man. That's so crazy to me.
I just wouldn't care.
It's so crazy to me.
You remember when say?
Yeah.
Remember what they said to Shamrock?
What?
They said about how they were curious to why he came because you don't really indulge in these
the world's affairs.
In the world's affairs or these politics. Like
right.
Because like seeing how they're knights, like about a pirate, like none of that concerns you. Like you guys don't pay attention to that stuff. So I can see why he wouldn't know who Jinbei is because they just don't do it.
I guess I was shocked. I was like, bro, what? That's so crazy to not know who Jinbei is. All right. I thought the attack was super dope. I love that Frankie's hitting this hard. I have a question for y'all. Did he fart to get up there? Or is that just him jumping?
I think that's
because I thought he farted, bro.
He said hops.
Maybe, bro. Frankie don't just jump.
I mean, if he is farting.
You know what I'm saying? Frankie not the just jumping type.
I think he jumped there. I 100% think he jumped. I never thought of fart once.
Mm-hmm. And then last part for me before I pass it to Law. Sanji's attack was great. I thought both attacks was great. The Vagabond Drill, the Dexter Right. I love Konkase in general, but I really wanted to ask y'all about the Bubble Mask piece of it. So obviously killing him should recover from this, like in terms of the attack damage. Like Sanji's not using Conqueror's Haki here. He's not killing him out. But the Bubble Mask may have some additional significance for killing him, as he's the only one we see wearing the Bubble Mask like the typical Celestial Dragons do outside of the Holy Land. Maybe that's just...
He took it off before.
Did he take it off before? Was it? I feel like it was always on.
No, I think he took it off before.
Am I tripping?
It was off when...
Because when he first showed up, he had it when he was in his the whatever face.
That was only the dragon form. I think when he went hybrid, he took it off.
But he has it on now. He's currently a hybrid.
I think
like,
he put it on.
It back on?
Yeah, because Jinbei was around. I may be mistaken, though.
I mean, that's possible. I didn't go back and look.
Like when we first saw his hybrid form.
I thought he still had it on. I could be tripping. Him putting it back on because
I remember
he went.
You remember when we saw him? He was talking to Sommers. He was calling him out. I don't think he had it on.
I have to go back and look. I mean, you might be right.
I'm gonna go to 1174.
You might be right.
I think it's 1174.
You might be right.
That's when the Nika sleep tit falls on the ship. I think.
Yeah.
I gotta check. I'll show you if
But either way, I was saying like. Is there something that...
Oh, he does have it on.
He does have it on, yeah.
Yeah, he has it on.
So to me, I'm wondering if there's like a significant, like an additional significance to him specifically, like whatever race he actually is, or like if he struggles to breathe for real, like in the regular air. Like maybe, like you said, he's just being aggressively racist towards other people. But I do think it could open up a situation where like we get another like weakness of him, or trigger something in him specifically. Because the Bubble Mask has been popped. Because
he does have it in his hybrid form when he starts out too. Yeah, he's had it on the whole time.
So I don't know.
My bad.
I'm wondering if there's just added significance to that, or if it'll cause just him to crash out more or whatever. But that's it for me.
All right, Law.
All right, so I'm gonna go back to the getting part of it because I connected it with the whole what Vegapunk was talking about.
Yeah.
So.
You mean the Vegapunk energy thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I have thoughts on it. Of not saying what. I'm thinking what it could be, right? So here's my thought. I think that the energy that Vegapunk is talking about one, I have two things. It could be both or whatever. One, I think it actually might be spiritual energy and or kinetic energy, right?
I didn't expect spiritual energy from you, but
Me
kinetic is
neither.
different.
So the reason I say spiritual energy is because in reference to what Ray said in chapter 597.
That there's hockey and everything.
Yes, right.
Okay.
But he talks about like how everyone has hockey, right? But how he's defining hockey, he says this: hockey is the ability to sense spiritual energy.
Okay.
So he said it's the ability to sense it. And he's saying it's all, and he kind of says it's everywhere, right? But more like everywhere in like, I guess, living things or in people, or like animals or whatever. But he says able to sense that in people and then also utilize it or whatever. Right, so that's why I say spiritual energy, because the same concept that's everywhere. And now I also mentioned kinetic energy because Vegapunk said he gathered it from this natural disaster. We see this fire that's raging, and he also grabbed it from lightning, right? So it could be a combination of both or whatever, but I think that's kind of dope in that aspect. It could be, I don't know exactly what it is, because there's also hockey, but I think that's also maybe a little separate, unless hockey and spiritual energy are supposed to be the same thing. Could just be that, right? But I think Vegapunk is talking about harnessing the power from kinetic energy as well as maybe spiritual energy or both, because he seems to just be gathering energy all around.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking spiritual energy is all around, but kinetic energy kind of only happens when something's in motion, like a force or whatever that's happening, right? So, all right, so I thought about that. Hyped about Frankie's new way to power up. Mad, I never even thought of that. The way of Frankie powering up before, like
You
thinking
ain't never
about
played
it,
Fallout, man.
like I never, no, but like this Frankie, because we all knew he used cola, but never thinking, Frankie just changed his power source. We all thought about him using hockey, but literally what's fueling him, because we saw when he runs out of cola, he gets, he would get drained previously, and then we see this new form. He shows lack, a less, or he gets drained by the cola, but we just know he fills up, But it's changing that power source. I never thought of him using something greater. I was thinking, why are you using cola in the first place? But I was just like, Frankie's likes cola. I don't know. Like, he's just weird that way, But that it actually changes his insides, making him stronger. I think that's dope, right? Makes you think of a few different sources of power Frankie could use instead, right? I know we all probably thought about it. Like, what if Frankie is able to somehow harness the power of the Mother Flame? Maybe not the whole thing, obviously, but just some of it to fuel him inside. How would Frankie level up there, right? And I also kind of hoping this leads to Frankie develop his own way to harvest energy himself, like Vegapunk, right? To fuel himself, right? Because we know that Frankie's an inventor, and if he could find a way to gather energy and absorb it like himself, be it, because I think even some androids used to do that, or it was in a movie in Dragon Ball Z, right? But if Frankie was able to do that, he's a cyborg though, is able to absorb the energy coming from around him, that could change his how strong he is too, especially if he develops hockey as well on top of that, right? And I thought of like in a harmony, what you were saying before about the energy sources, about what's happening. So you think about it too, you have hockey or the spiritual energy, if they're two separate things, right? But in a way, if kinetic energy is a way that's showing that it could be harnessed, you could keep having energy be used by the energy that it produces. Like, for example, you produce energy, you absorbed it and you're producing it. Now, like, for example, what Lucia did, what the Mother Flame did through Lucia, all that attack, in a way, produces kinetic energy. So that attack you just produced is creating energy in itself. You absorb that energy from that attack, and then boom, you have more energy right then and there. So you can have a way where it just keeps recycling itself, fueling itself to keep on attacking. So I wonder if they'll ever go into that one, but this way of Frankie leveling up could be very interesting if he actually puts it into it, which will be dope for him. And he might share that with Usopp, with some of his abilities, with his, or even Nami, like we all talked about the whole bubble shield. But with these aspects, they could really level up here if they put mind to it with Vegabunk's technology, Usopp, Nami. But yeah. I love Sanji's response to Kilogram speaking to Jinbei and about this way and acting immediately and then smashing his head, kind of looking like he speed blitzed Kilogram and smashed his head in just like that. It kind of reminds me how Luffy reacts when someone talks bad about someone he cares about, or a Nakama or a friend of his, right? But I love the way Sanji, and this kind of goes into a little bit of the shifting gear a little bit that Sanji I'm talking about here, because I don't know if I saw in the past that Sanji would get this worked up about someone speaking bad about one of his Nakama in the past so much. Yeah, he may have this whatever, but this way it was like it prompted immediate action to Sanji to do this to Killing Grim. And it could be like, all right, it's natural because he is an enemy at the fast. It could be that factor as well. But I love their response to it. It reminded me of Luffy, and I kind of want to see the aftermath damage again. What it has done to Killing Grim of like, I guess, because we all know speed blitzing Holy Knight are doing this one. It can it's like what we're seeing, it could be good, nice, or it could not be, because like, for example, we saw this is at a higher level with them, but like Gaban and Ray did it to Gaban and Ray did it to Sommers, right? But that's also, what did it actually do to him? Is this the same level what Sanji did to them? Because he's also the and also, the last thing I'm going to say, Jinbei used the same Fishman karate punch that he used on the giant fishman.
Watatsumi?
Yeah, Watatsumi on Fishman Island.
Man.
That's a good callback.
Yeah, so like, because they're both giant. So I wonder, like, is it, all right, you see this massive creature in front of you, Watatsumi, you use his attack. And then you see this another massive creature in front of you, the Sleep Tid, you use a similar attack. Is this Jinbei's go-to attack to massive creatures to put them down? Like, So I thought that was funny.
So are you?
Yeah, that's it.
So question, real quick, probably have you go, Larry. I know I'm old enough to remember what the community was like on Fisherman Island when Jinbei and Sanji tag teamed Watatsumi like that. There was a lot of, is Sanji as strong as Jinbei conversations back then. It was a little premature, but it happened. Are y'all willing to have that conversation about upgraded Frankie? How strong do you think he scales to now with this Quantum Cola, the Vega Cola?
Honestly, well, we all know that hockey has to be a factor. Like, it has to play into it. Yeah. But with the terms of destructive power and whatever sources and what that can equate to, it definitely, as we see it raises Frankie's level up tremendously. And that's why I talked about like other power sources of what Frankie could actually use and then keep using it. We seen right here, like we talked about before, he one-shot at a freaking Vice Admiral. That's before this thing. Now he just one-shots a Sleep Tid punching off his head, where the other ones, I'm not saying how many other giants were struggling with that or whatever, but this match, because we all know how big the Sleep Tids are. And I think they also vary in sizes. Some are probably bigger than others. But this, I don't know how great a feat it is because it's also a Sleep Tid, but it's supposed to show a show of power. I would like to see it with a more stronger contender, what Frankie's able to do. But I think the fact that Oda wrote it here in this situation with Jinbei is for a reason. This new level of Jinbei is supposed to bring him closer, at the very least. Maybe not exactly, but closer to that level of Jinbei, possibly. But also, too, hockey has to factor because Jinbei didn't even use hockey hard in here.
Yeah.
I would say he's still fifth.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I still got Jinbei over Frankie. I just wanted to see.
Yeah. Did you go, Seb?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Damn, you forgot what I said, man. That's crazy.
No, my bad.
Kidding.
First off, I know I was praising these Omni Drain converters for what they're capable of, but I'm also going to give them some criticism because it's definitely warranted. It's completely fair to say that devices like this shouldn't exist without proper management. If someone got their hands on this kind of technology and used it the wrong way, entire countries could be devastated by the forceful effects of stripping away natural energy from their environment. It actually reminds me of the dance powder in Alabasta, how people manipulated the weather to create artificial rain, which in turn caused massive droughts elsewhere. The environment was being altered for personal gain. Now that we know natural disasters can generate energy, it raises another question. If Blackbeard somehow managed to recruit York, and York had the ability to create or operate Omni-Drain converters, could Blackbeard potentially use his Quake ability to generate massive energy sources? In other words, he could theoretically power weapons for his entire crew using the energy from his own earthquakes as a kind of fail-safe weapon of mass destruction. That would be crazy. That comment about natural disasters producing energy also made me think about another ancient weapon, Pluton. For the longest time, I believed that the natural defenses surrounding Wano were actually caused by Pluton itself. We were told that once Pluton is released, Wano would lose its natural defenses. So, if natural disasters generate energy, what if the true reason Pluton is considered an ancient weapon is because it can create natural disasters, essentially generating its own endless supply of energy?
I mean, a Vegapunk level mind should be trying to recycle the energy if you're going to create.
Bingo.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you, I mean, I guess this is how you would do it. You
Yes.
just have to find a way to simultaneously create the damage, have the damage last long enough to then still be able to recycle it as you go on. That's why a ship would work, especially if you're hovering. Like, I'm doing the damage, and then it's just also sucking it up with like a vacuum. Hey, man, like you said, without proper oversight, you I mean, the world was flooded before, so
And
I'm
it just-
assuming somebody did something very similar without the proper oversight.
And it just connects to Frankie too, because Frankie is connected to learning about Pluton and the Pluton blueprints. You know what I'm saying? And then it's the Omni Drain converters are basically dance powder related as well. It just seems like the ancient weapons seem to be a little bit more clearer than I thought they were before, which is interesting to me. Okay. So Frankie can now be fueled by Zeus's storms, which basically means he could have an endless supply of super Vega Colas. Now that this is a possibility, Frankie and Nami can actually create synergy attacks together as a combo. I absolutely love this. This screams Yonko crew energy. Same way Seb, I know Sebastian mentioned that the tension of what's happening right now feels a bit lessened because the Straw Hats provide that cloak of safety. But to me, it's all about team synergy, team attacks infused with hockey possibly, and coordination. Seeing Nami and Frankie be this compatible, like knowing for the future, probably should have been obvious in hindsight too. But now I can see so much potential here, bro. It's crazy what he can do with Nami. Which leads me to my next highlight. I absolutely loved how Jinbei, Sanji, and Frankie all work together. The Sanji has been the fourth strongest since Jinbei joined the crew. Jokes have been hilarious and somewhat warranted. But when I see the third, the fourth, and the fifth strongest members combining for a synergy attack, it gave me serious Chrono Trigger vibes. It really did. It made me think that Frankie was just Robo. I forgot what punch Robo does, but it's super effective, bro. He has like this really dope punch. But anyway, I'll get past it. I also like that Sanji was highlighted as the third strongest here, which is why he was the one to land a hit on St. Killingham rather than Jinbei. You know, I like to ante it up. Jinbei is stronger, but at the end of the day, I know it's real. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking most of the time. Sanji used Ifrit Jambe, same technique he used against Queen. Now, if you ask me whether St. Killingham is actually knocked out or finished because of that, my answer is 100% no. All right, no. If you remember, Sanji hasn't unlocked Conqueror's Haki yet, even though some of you are convinced he already has it. And even if he does have the potential for it, that kind of power takes time to properly utilize in combat. Straight up. You're not going to just get it.
It would legitimately be bad writing if
It
Sanji
would.
just used it like this. Like, that would be so stupid.
Also, when Sanji used Ifrit Jambe against Queen, it took 8 kicks to finally put him down. So if Queen could withstand 7 hits, St. Killingham should realistically be able to tank plenty more, especially since Sanji isn't coding his attacks with Conqueror's Haki. So let's not get ahead of ourselves, like Sanji just did something definitive here. At best, the damage he did is comparable to the kind of impact Usopp had against Gonko. Even though that sounds disrespectful. What brings me to my next highlight, and it's what Lawrence mentioned earlier. Or maybe it's my frustration. Everyone else seems to be showing out right now, yo. Even though Frankie is getting his upgrade and arc later than expected, at least he's getting something. Meanwhile, Usopp has been completely invisible. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really expect anything from Usopp anymore. If it weren't for his comedic moments and the grounded element of his character with his realistic perspective, he brings nothing to the crew, bro. Like, I honestly don't think I'd feel much if he just were gone this arc. Pre-time skip, he absolutely served a purpose. Not gonna lie. We needed him for the ship's repairs, to find out this thing for Luffy to grow into a better captain, all that, right? I'd even go as far as saying we needed him for Sugar during Dressrosa. Could they have gotten past? Probably. I mean, whatever. That's up for discussion too. But overall, right now, he feels like wasted space. And I honestly blame the years of people hyping him up with ideas like him unlocking Conqueror's Haki.
Ashton.
Hate it. All right. The last thing I do want to mention is St. Killingham's perspective on the fishman species. I've made at least 2 theories suggesting that St. Killingham might actually be a fishman himself, possibly a descendant of an older royal family from Fishman Island that existed before the Neptune royal family. My thought is that his family may have joined the world government long ago, leaving Fishman Island behind to become celestial dragons and erase their name. That would explain some of the Fishman-like features and also the lack of history on Fishman Island. Because of that, I don't necessarily think his comments about Fishman come from him simply being racist towards another species. Instead, I think it's his extreme elitist mindset, who he may even hate his own kind because of what they represent. You know, some black people hate other black people. Be straight up. Some white people hate other white people. Straight up. In other words, he sees himself as having ascended beyond them. Is he double ascended? Double racist? So it reminds me of what Sebastian said earlier, the Clayton Bigsby character from Dave Chappelle's show. Mm-hmm. The satirical example of someone who rejects their own identity because they've bought so deeply into an elitist ideology. In a similar way, St. Killingham might view himself as above Fishman, entirely because of his status as a celestial dragon. It also makes me think about Hoodie Jones, yo. Mm. In some ways, Hoodie might have foreshadowed the idea of Fishmen, who see themselves as superior and destined to pass judgment on others. Remember when Fukaboshi asked Hoodie what humans had done to him, and Hoodie responded with nothing? His hatred wasn't based on personal experience. It was ideological. Hoodie even murdered other fishmen who showed sympathy towards humans. This would be no different from Killingham saying you found sympathy with people who are not celestial dragons. I'm going to murder you even though you're a fishman. So when I look at St. Killingham, I still believe there's a possibility he is a fishman. The difference is he's an elitist who has completely rejected his origins and now sees himself as something higher because of his status.
I put a poll up, just kind of asking. But yeah,
it reminded me of Garling when he took out that one CD for helping out fishermen, and he was like, "When you help out that, you sink even lower." Mm-hmm. So what you said about Killingham is like that same type of attitude.
Yeah,
keep calling him Killingham. It's so funny to me.
Yeah, but I'm finished. We could do like 5 super chats and then go into the last part of the chat. Guys, if you haven't liked the video, hit that like button.
All right. We got another 5 from Kirby. It says, "What's up, y'all? Chance another Devil Fruit has drums of liberation. The Straw Hats will need all the help they can get low key. Thoughts? Hashtag Milkman Monday. No Devil Fruit with the drums of liberation.
Bonnie?
Brooke? Well, that wouldn't be a Devil Fruit. But if there's a music fruit out there, you know? It's the only ones I can think of. Another 5 from Marzelli. Yesterday was Frankie's birthday, so surely when Usopp's birthday hits on the 1st of April, he'll get his power up. Hashtag coping. Hashtag Usopp is Luffy's best friend.
That's what I want to ask Oda.
Or it'll be a who Luffy's best friend is? When he tells you Usopp, you gonna accept it? Or are you gonna be like, nah, Oda, you wrong?
I would say Oda's wrong.
Y'all kill me. Y'all kill me. Well, the 1st of April is April Fool's, so be prepared. Be prepared, man. That's all I can tell you. Another 7 months at Nakama status from Pastor C. Who you got? Ragnar versus Kuzan. I got Kuzan, man.
Kuzan versus Ragnar?
Yeah.
Ragnar's just a hammer. Like, without
I mean,
anyone...
it's a sentient hammer that transforms into a some sort of animal. I don't know what that is. A squirrel. I got Kuzan regardless.
All I heard is that if you got Kuzan, that means if Loki put the hammer down, like Ragnar down, he wouldn't be able to beat Kuzan. That's what you're telling me.
Well, I got Loki up there.
Because I saw Loki with a regular hammer lose out in a clash to Ragnar.
Well, that was Loki pre-Devil Fruit. And like 8 or 9, whatever years ago.
Okay.
Like he's just gotten significantly stronger since then. Are you saying Loki back then? Give me Kuzan. Back then. Like pre all this, pre-hammer, pre-Devil Fruit? Give me Kuzan. Now? Give me Loki. Another 2 from Reggie J. Tell him, Law, been handing out belt tags to the allegation. That's funny. Another 5 from Diamond Life. Law, what are y'all reading? Also, Law, Gaban and Ray are stronger than rocks.
So, again, I know how that sounds, right? I know how that sounds. But my basis for that, like my thoughts
I don't
on
care,
it,
bro. I don't care.
Hey,
bro.
it's a super
It
chat.
was bad,
Yeah,
bro.
it's not bad. It's not bad.
It was bad,
So
bro.
my facts on it, going to the facts of the thing, is that one.
There was no facts
Yeah,
behind
there
that
is facts.
statement.
No, there is facts.
Your
I'ma say
facts
them.
was, yo.
No, I'm gonna say them.
Roger probably taught Rayleigh and Gaban to use
That's
critical
not what
mass
I,
Supreme
no.
King
That's
hockey.
not what I said.
And you were like, yo, he's
That's
stronger
not what I
than
said.
rocks.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said one. Fact is 2 is that none of them were in their prime during God Valley. That's all before their prime, right?
Stop it, Law.
And then 2, right, with the fact that critical mass hockey became a factor, right? And then they sailed after God Valley. They had 15 years of pirating to grow into their prime and to grow in stronger. And in fact, if Ray and Gaban, this is the factor, in those 15 years of growing stronger into their prime, which they weren't, they're young at God Valley, grew to learn critical mass hockey, because I doubt that was the only time Roger or Garp showed it was only God Valley. If they seen them do it in any of those 15 years, they could have learned it and adopted themselves, and 50 years grew stronger, they have a chance at beating rocks. Yeah. That is my thought. Yeah. If you guys choose to accept it, I don't really care, because I still stand on it. If 15 years go by and they grew into their prime and they learn critical mass hockey, which Rocks does not know, they have the edge on Rocks.
Yo,
they have their edge.
Zoro saw Luffy use outward emission. Damn, yo. Still ain't using it, though.
But, Lawrence, I'm going to just ask you straight up. Peak for peak. They're at their strongest they could possibly be, in your mind. Rocks versus Ray. Who you got?
Like I said before, if Ray knows critical mass hockey, like I said before, I'm not changing it. If Ray knows critical mass hockey and Rocks does not, I have the edge on Ray. Because how is Rocks going to compete with that? Explain to me that. I haven't even seen Rocks use hockey hardening, but you expect him to compete with critical mass hockey?
It's so disingenuous for you to be like, I didn't see him use hockey hardening, but I saw him use advanced Conqueror's coding to where him and Harold were literally not touching blades the same way Roger and Whitebird did. So if Roger and Whitebird did only advanced Conqueror's hockey and they did what they did where Odin was, you would be like, well, Roger didn't use hockey hardening, yo, which is a lower form of hockey overall. You know, if somebody's using the outward emission plus Conqueror's Haki, and they're infusing it to make advanced Conqueror's Haki, then they know Haki hardening, Lawrence, because it's the basic form of armament Haki. That's just math.
It's not just math.
Okay. All right, bro.
I'm just saying.
All right, bro. Stop, bro.
I'm just saying.
Stop, bro.
Right?
Nah, let it rock, man. We let Larry.
It's
Larry,
ridiculous.
we let you rock.
I'm just
It's
saying.
ridiculous, bro.
Like in those moments where he could have seen to do it, especially against Emu, he still haven't used it. When would be the time you use it? You're fighting the strongest person you've ever faced, right? Your family's on the line, and you still don't use Haki Hardening, your strongest Haki.
But he's using a strong
like that same argument.
Exactly.
That same argument. You come at Odin for not breaking the shield against his family, but you don't come at Rocks for not moving out your strongest Haki against Emu, the world that
You know why that doesn't make sense, Lawrence?
How does it make
Because
sense?
I saw Odin clash with Conqueror's Haki against 2 opponents, and he didn't use it against Orochi. Meanwhile, you're suggesting that somebody had to have 14 years of experience and had to see something possibly in order to start doing critical mass Supreme King Haki. And your guess is, I guess he should likely have it, where Odin had it. Odin had the Haki in order to break it. Yours is guesswork. Mine is
not guesswork.
completely rooted in evidence.
It's not
You
guesswork.
have no evidence.
What's that do? Them growing 50 years not in their prime? Like, remember, one.
All right, so where's the evidence for Rocks? Because Rocks was using advanced Conqueror's Haki infusion against Herald, not touching blades the same way Roger and Whitebeard was. And then 14 years later, he went to God Valley. So are you going to give Rocks that same credit?
I haven't seen him use any of those Hakis.
But he was able to beat 2 Holy Knights, right? And beat Domi Reversi. And for some reason, with 14 years attached to his belt, from the point where he was using Advanced Conqueror's Haki, all of a sudden, he doesn't get the boost and lift that Gaban and Rayleigh do, that hasn't done any of those techniques at all, just based off of the fact that Roger did it in front of them? Stop, bro. You're ridiculous for that statement.
How do you think Shanks learned it? How do you think Shanks learned it?
Oh, my God, bro.
How do you think Shanks has really shown that he's taken from Roger, Gaban, and Ray?
Mm-hmm.
But he hasn't learned any of the Haki from them? He's seen how they use their Haki.
Again,
for 15 years.
Again, speculation.
So
Speculation, Lawrence.
speculation?
Yes.
Whatchamacallit?
Speculation.
We legit have Oda saying, right, that the Divine Departure, which Roger uses all the freaking time, right? Shanks learned it from him. In fact, out of that technique, Shanks seemed to be the special one to fully master that technique. Right? So, in that way alone, they're all learning from Shanks is learning from Roger.
Or is that just Shanks and not Rayleigh and Gaban learning? Because if you're gonna speculate, I'm gonna speculate too. What if Rayleigh he doesn't want to do what Roger wants to do? What if he wants to take a different path?
No, that's fine. That's a sword technique. We're talking about the uses of Haki here.
Yeah. What if he just didn't want to use his Haki that way?
In critical mass Haki?
What if he couldn't do it?
Why wouldn't you do it?
Because maybe he just didn't have the Haki capacity, Lawrence.
That doesn't.
I mean,
when has it showed that he doesn't have the Haki capacity?
he wasn't fighting Whitebeards, right? From what I know,
you don't need to fight Whitebeards.
Garp wasn't his rival, right?
You don't need to fight Whitebeards to grow your Haki into that way. You don't need to. You don't.
So you just don't need to face opponents stronger than you in order to grow your Haki to the highest place of where Haki can go? Because that doesn't sound like what Rayleigh said to Luffy, Lawrence.
That's one way to grow your Haki. Explain Odin.
Oh,
how was Odin able to rival Whitebeard?
You want to know why?
When he didn't fight anyone close to Whitebeard.
Because Odin was a monster already. And Rayleigh wasn't.
So Ray and Gaban are not monsters already when they're showing that they're stronger than Odin?
No.
So Ray and Gaban are not stronger than Odin?
Odin literally had what he had from Rip, right? Meanwhile, Rayleigh and Gaban had to get to those levels.
Hold on. So you believe that Ray and Gaban are that far than Odin?
I had your twin tell me that literally Odin could deflect Bajrangan.
Okay. So?
Yeah, too funny.
What does that have to do with that? One, I don't believe at all that Odin is that far above Ray and Gaban. I believe actually Ray and Gaban are stronger than Odin. And if he's showing this natural talent for hockey, which was kind of showing in the show, that guess what? All these strong people, because guess what? Odin was 19 doing this hockey feats. We're seeing the same thing from Shanks, and we're seeing the same thing from Loki, right? And we're seeing the same thing from Luffy. We're seeing the same thing from now they're a little older,
Bro's
21. We're seeing Zoro and Zoro. We're seeing these hockey feats that people at a young age are learning these hockey, right? So to me, I believe that Gaban and Ray, after God Valley, after 15 years, did not develop their hockey even stronger to grow into their prime, which was said that all of them, Oda even said it, none of them were in their prime, that all these pirates grew into their prime, right? Rox was standing there as a rival of Roger when Roger wasn't in his prime. Right, and also too,
rival Roger.
Roger, and also too, it never said
was literally highlighted by Garp.
And also too, it was never said once in the show that Rox was stronger than Roger. Never once. It never said he was stronger.
He wasn't stronger.
It never said it was. Show anywhere where it said that he was stronger. It hasn't showed it once.
Literally,
you cannot find a panel where it showed that he was
doesn't
stronger.
get the 14-year buff, but Gaban and Rayleigh do. Literally, like you're literally giving them a buff.
Who's left in death?
Like
who was left in death?
Hold on. When Roger came around, right? When Roger came around, did he fight Rox?
Probably.
When he showed up on his island, did Roger fight Rox at all? Like, did he ever clash with him?
We don't know. They haven't shown.
Based off the narrator,
we don't know, right?
They fought at sea.
I did see Roger. I did see Roger get in his face and show up to his island.
Roger's rivalry was with Garp. He was chasing Punani. He succumbed to it, right? And he faltered to it, and then he needed help from his other rival in order to defeat a lesser Rox.
And you're the only one that believes that.
No, it's not only believe that. Oh, imagine.
This dude, Rox, was blocking his body with Conqueror's hockey. That's a feat we never seen that Rox never do.
God.
A feat that no one else has done in the show.
Back to this.
Rox is not even, that's two techniques that Rox have not shown to do at all. Hockey hardening and block coding to protect your body.
I don't know why you keep saying hockey hardening when we clearly see that there's a higher level of hockey being used. I don't need to show you that I can use clear hockey in order to be like, oh my God, I can just use hockey overall.
It's funny you say this, is because if you go back, look when every time that Roger used hockey hardening, it's only against people that can fight him. Go back and watch. He only used it against Garp when they were fighting, and back on God Valley when Whitebeard wasn't close to wasn't in his prime and was on Roger's lever. Right. Roger did not use hockey hardening, but when Whitebeard was in his prime, when he was at 47 and those 3 days, that's when Roger used hockey hardening. Right there, showing what? Because guess what? Hockey hardening adds more power, more density, more strength to your attacks. Yeah, that's why we see the only time that Roger only shows to use it is because people he realizes that are on his level that would fight him.
Yeah.
Because guess what? On Odin too, when he said Odin flying, he didn't use hockey hardening then. Then right after that, he uses hockey hardening. So what does that tell me? Against Odin, the boy, he's so stronger than Gaban and Ray. Roger sent him flying around using hockey hardening with a flying blade technique. But against Whitebeard, who's close to his level now, uses hockey hardening then. And against Garp, his rival, uses hockey hardening against them. The two top people in the show.
Imagine feeling like you actually hit a topic because you're saying, hey, even though this person could bench 400 pounds, the fact that they're not using 10-pound plates when they bench 135 means that they don't know how to bench correctly. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You can't just be like, yo, a person's doing a stronger attack in that field, but can't do a weaker one. Therefore, this person that does a weaker one is stronger than the person that could lift heavier. Like, no, bro. That's not how it works. If bro 14 years ago was doing advanced hockey hardening, then obviously he could do armament whenever he chooses to. But if he doesn't want to use armament hockey, it's because it's not needed. So why would I use it?
Because you're fighting Emu. And does Gaban and Ray not know Advanced Conqueror's hockey?
Please,
do they not know it?
Please tell me,
Do they not know it?
Please tell me, bro. In that panel, who else was using advanced armament hockey? In that panel. Let's go back to the panel, bro. Because from what I remember, I saw a pretty good Whitebeard using his devil fruit.
Whitebeard used hockey.
Right. He used hockey. Where's the armament hockey, though? You got to use armament hockey in order to be strong. You got a hockey hardening, bro.
That's not what I said. You got to be strong.
Oh, okay.
But we've seen Whitebeard use it later on.
Stop.
We haven't seen because all the people we see them use it. Every single person in that panel, we see them use hockey hardening at a different time.
Right.
Not once have we seen Rocks. That's my argument here. In every single one of his fights, he's not used it once. Look at his blade.
Yeah.
Not used it once.
I think Garp is. I can't tell. Roger isn't. Rocks isn't. Whitebeard isn't. Big Mom isn't. Kaido's doing
Oh,
it.
man. Yo, they're facing
White
Emu, though, yo.
Garp
They should have
might.
used hockey hardening, bro.
Whose family's
Because
on the line?
hockey hardening
Whose family's
would
on the
have
line?
literally damaged
Who's-
Emu.
No, the whole
Instead
argument,
of
whose family's
advanced
on the line?
conquerors hockey, who's clearly been stated to hurt people who are intangible.
No, the whole thing is
And immortal.
whose family's on the line? Who's protecting his family? That's how you come at Odin, right? Because his wife got
Family
shot
on
with an
the
arrow.
line.
Your wife and kid are here.
Family on the line.
You literally got sent after to go take out your wife and kid.
Right. Imagine if he only used armament hockey on Garling and
I'm just saying, keep
was
that-
capable of putting them down.
I'm saying keep
when
that same
clearly
energy, bro.
the story says you need to utilize Conqueror's hockey in a special way in order to hurt the actual Holy Knights.
We gotta move on.
Stop bringing armament advanced, stop bringing hockey hardening up. It doesn't matter. This isn't Luffy versus Katakuri.
Does it not add to your strength?
It's
Hockey hardening does not add to your strength?
if I'm
It most
using
certainly does.
advanced Conqueror's hockey, there's no need for hockey hardening.
Yes, there. Then why would Roger use it against Whitebeard? And why
Bro.
would Whitebeard use it against Roger?
Bro.
Why would Garp use it against Roger? Why would Roger
Can
use it
you
against
explain to me
Garp?
the difference?
Why they're using advanced Conqueror's
So
hockey?
explain the difference between Roger and Whitebeard's clash compared to Harold and Rox's clash. Explain the difference. Because one you said is using hockey hardening, right? The other one?
Roger and we talking about Whitebeards?
Whitebeard and Roger,
Uh-huh.
you said use hockey hardening.
Yeah.
Harold, Rox did the same clash that these boys did, and there was no hockey hardening on it. So what's the difference?
Their attack was a stronger attack. Roger and Whitebeard's clash is a stronger clash than what Rox and Harold were doing back then. Stronger clash. They're both closer to their prime or in their prime, right? And they're both
Again,
straight. They're both stronger.
Again, speculation.
More hockey.
Bro's literally doing
Speculation?
Pure speculation.
So Whitebeard in his prime, right, is not stronger than Harold or Rox at that time, and Roger in his prime is not stronger than Harold or Rox at that time,
bro.
Because that's
Stop,
where you think that Rox is the all-time strongest person, and compared to them, when literally in the manga, it was never said that Rox is stronger than either of them.
It's funny.
It was never said.
Because guess what? Roger was definitely holding back if he had Critical Mass Supreme King Hockey, so he was actually fighting to Whitebeard's standard. If you want to take it that far,
that shows how strong Roger is.
It shows how strong he is.
Yeah, it shows how strong Roger is.
Right.
Guys, we gotta move on. We gotta move on, and we did get a huge super chat, so I want to read that before we do move on. But y'all good? Y'all want?
I don't understand why he always does this. Like, he literally will
Listen.
speculate out of his mind, and when you prove it with evidence, all of a sudden evidence
You have
doesn't
shown
matter.
no evidence.
Listen,
Evidence doesn't
no
matter.
evidence.
Yeah,
Literally, Rox couldn't even.
listen.
You always say Rox was guarding himself with Conqueror's Hockey, but every time we've seen somebody who can utilize Conqueror's Hockey efficiently, they've always guarded by attacking back. If I let you stall off on me, of course you're going to hurt me, Lawrence. At that point, it was, hey, Rox, you're leaking Conqueror's Hockey. Garp and Roger, hey, his hockey is so strong, even though he's not utilizing it, right? Though with Conqueror's Hockey, he's not utilizing it, that I have to somehow utilize mine in order to surpass his leakage. And then all of a sudden, they were like, yo, it's going to pass out if I do this, yo. And then they end up doing it. But I guarantee you, if Rox said, okay, I'm going to guard with my Conqueror's Hockey the correct way. I'm going to infuse my Conqueror's Hockey with 14 years from when I clashed with Harold and use Imperial, right? And swipe back at them, he would have just pushed them back. But guess what? Dude wasn't in control of his willpower because it was possessed by Domi Reversi, which we see later in this chapter. People have said, this is something I would never do. So of course, he's going to be guarding with whatever is leaking out of him. But he's not attacking back. So that's not Rox at his strongest. That's just Rox existing.
It's Rock stronger than his.
Oh
his
my
real
God,
form.
Lawrence,
He's
stop,
legit
bro.
protecting himself with
Oh, he's
when have we
protecting
seen
himself.
anybody
Oh my
protect
God.
from attacks? Right? Like
He
Hockey
know, but
Harding?
yo, he doesn't
Wait,
care about facts. He
These
doesn't
are
care
the
about facts.
You legit saw Venus Jiro use Hockey Harding and said he wasn't using Hockey in his attack. Like
What?
You said, I showed you a panel. We saw Venus Jiro using Hockey Harding in his blade. And you said there was no hockey involved in that attack.
No, I didn't say that.
But I'm ignoring facts.
No, I didn't say that.
He didn't say there was no hockey in that attack?
No, I said, what I said was, he doesn't always use hockey in his attacks. You were saying he does, so I sent you at least 12 pictures of his sword not being hockey hardening.
There was Hockey Harding in. You said for the Sanji one that I showed that was not hockey in that attack. Did he not say that? Am I tripping?
Lawrence don't know
Did he not say that?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure.
Lawrence don't know what you're
No,
talking about.
go back to the panel. I said
again,
Sanji blocked
Gaban and
Venus
Rayleigh,
Jiro's
You
Hockey
ruined
Harding
our
attack.
top 30 list. If it wasn't for the Gaban and Rayleigh, the list would have been cool. If you followed the 100-point system, it would have been cool. But instead, you decided to troll on the top 30 and made it worse. And anybody could have realized Gaban and Rayleigh would have never been as strong as Rocks. But due to speculative teachings that Roger had in his cabin when he was chasing Punani, all of a sudden he had to learn it and be as superior as Rocks.
Did Kaido teach Luffy advanced conquerors hockey? Did Kaido teach that to Luffy? No.
Ruin the list,
Luffy
bro.
observed it.
Ruin the
Right?
list,
Luffy
bro.
observed it and just did it. Did Kinemon teach Zoro the cut fire? No, they saw it and then they did it. Did Ray teach Luffy how to do the hockey inward to do the shit to break off the collar? No, he remembered that Ray did it and then tried to put it into practice.
And then guess
what? It
what?
shows it clear that you could learn hockey just by watching it being done.
And guess what?
We've seen it happen multiple times. Why can't
Gaban didn't know it.
What?
And he didn't know it.
That's
Gaban didn't know it.
That's not. They were trying
Never used Critical Mass Supreme King hockey against.
They're trying to save Ray.
Never used it.
They were trying to save Ray.
Oh, no, he tried to save Ray, bro.
What did Shanks say?
Tried to save
what
Ray,
did Shanks
bro.
Ray?
Tried to save Ray,
Did not Shanks say, yo, Ray? He's at least saying to Gaban.
Tried to save Ray. It's always an excuse, bro.
Always an excuse. I'm ignoring facts. Shanks at least said on panel, Gaban, I want to try and save Harold. But I guess they weren't trying to do that.
Good job
All that out
saving
the window.
Harold, bro.
None of that mattered.
Good job.
None of that mattered.
Bro had to depend on Loki to do anything. Damn. Imagine that. Imagine if Roger was there. He would have been rolling in his grave. All the things I taught you. You couldn't do this? How many times we beat the Celestial Dragons back?
Harold saved his son.
Damn, yo. Love how you turned out, Gaban. Definitely deserve to be stronger than Rocks.
All right, y'all good? We got done it now. We got more chapters. We got more chapters.
And you know what's so funny? And you know what's so funny? Gaban and Rayleigh had faced the Celestial Dragons to capture Shanks many times. Rocks literally faced 2 Holy Knights, one of them about to be the Supreme Commander, Lawrence. And guess what? Didn't know the regenerative capabilities, didn't know about Domi Reversi, didn't know about the Covenants. And guess what Garland was doing after Rocks easy diffed him? He was literally with a sword in his chest in the ground on the floor. If Gaban didn't want to kill Harold, then all of a sudden, that's what he should have did, which would be the same thing that Rocks did, but he didn't. Instead, he was sitting there holding his head, saying, oh my God, I wish Loki would come out here and help us because I'm getting my butt whooped.
One, Harold in Covenant is way stronger than what Rocks was facing then. And also, did Rocks one-shot them? Because I saw Ray one-shot.
Mr. leaking.
I'm seeing Gaban
leaking
and
hockey
Ray.
Harold.
I'm seeing
leaking hockey Harold, not a control of his mind.
I'm
Harold.
seeing Gaban and Ray literally one-shot these knights.
Bro.
Right, one-shot them,
right,
and then moving on, right, and also too, Harold is way stronger than what Rocks was facing against.
Yeah,
way stronger.
I could see it, bro.
Way stronger.
I could see it.
Yeah,
I could see all the hockey that Harold was using, bro. He really was putting his all into it. Meanwhile, he's getting bodied by his regular royal guards.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, every other picture was him stabbed up with some type of weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, Gaban couldn't land that one attack that needed to be done in order to put him down or immobilize him.
Hey,
sure.
Your boy Rock said that Harold was greater than him.
Okay.
Did Rock's not say that?
Okay.
Did Rock's not say that?
Okay.
Did the Rock's not say
Yo,
that?
you see that?
Did Rock's not say that?
Greater than him.
Yo, Rock's, those are Rock's
Greater
words.
than him. Mister, I want to take you out, but I
Rock just
can't. Right.
Rock said it. Harold's greater than me. Your father can do it. He's the strongest. He's the liberator.
That's what he said, Lawrence. That's what he said.
That great person you're looking for, Loki.
No, that's what he said, Lawrence.
That great person you're looking
Lawrence,
for, Loki.
That's what he said.
It's not me.
That's what he
It's
said,
not
Lawrence.
me. It's not me.
Bro's just
He said it was Harold,
bro,
yeah.
literally gesturing at
Yeah,
this
he
point.
said this dude Harold was like
Literally gesturing.
Rock's
at this point,
words.
bro.
He was like, "Yo, I'm not that guy, Loki. Your father.
Literally
is.
just say anything. Lawrence.
I'm not that guy. Your father is. I'm trying to become king, man. I'm not what you're looking for, Loki.
Yo, not what you're looking for. Harold wants to literally become a servant and slave. Meanwhile, my boy wants to become the king of the world. But yet, you really think that Rox is under Harold? Crack.
Oh man,
Pure crack.
You couldn't get past him.
Right, he couldn't get past
You
him.
couldn't get past him.
Right.
I think we're
You
ignoring
couldn't
a lot
get past
of
him. You couldn't
context.
recruit him.
Yeah,
What
there's
he
so
was
much
saying,
context.
when he said
couldn't-
that,
Yeah.
but-
Lawrence is just being petty.
Just ignore
He's
it
being
all.
You
petty.
couldn't recruit him.
No. Oh, he couldn't recruit him.
He's not as great as him, man. Like I don't know. I don't know.
So
Yo,
funny,
this is
bro.
the pettiest Lawrence ever been. This is
Yeah,
so funny.
bro.
I got more. I got more.
You should have more.
I got more.
Have more. Because you got nothing else on Gaban or Rayleigh.
No, I do.
You don't.
I do.
Oh my god.
Oh, I do.
Imagine that, yo.
There are-
Roger goes, yo, Roger Pirates are no more. And then Rayleigh goes, all right. Doesn't take over. Doesn't continue protecting. Doesn't do anything. Lets Roger's kid get killed.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, he's a cheater. Cheats on the one girl that the whole era ruined over. Gaban, what does Gaban do? Stay on Elbaf for the next 20 years and talk to
my
Crocus
God.
about how he was a failure too. Please, let's continue, bro. Because if we want to talk about failures, we could talk about
All the
it.
Rocks Pirates forgot about him.
Oh, the Rocks Pirates?
I forgot about Rocks.
Right. The Rocks
They did.
Pirates. Did they ever mention Gaban?
You have
Did they ever mention Rayleigh?
you have Shiki.
I never saw them go, yo, Rayleigh and literally Gaban were real ones, bro.
Yeah.
They always talked about Roger, though, right?
I heard Garp say that Ray was a real one.
Right.
I heard Garp call Ray a legend on Wiper.
And again, he's
On
just saying
Wiper
petty
level.
stuff because you remember, you're missing the entire context of why they don't recognize Rocks when they were clearly about to.
I saw Shinky crash out when Roger passed.
Yeah.
When Rocks did, he was like, all right. I got my treasure.
Yeah.
I'm saying he went to Marineford War to take on Sengoku and Garp for
listen.
Roger's sake.
Hey, listen, at least you giving Shiki credit because you usually don't.
He don't deserve it.
Right. See how far you would step down? Should we mention Marco too? Because all of a sudden, Marco had a little scuffle with Ray. He must go hard as hell too, right? Let's hear some Marco praise.
God.
I heard.
Oh, you want to be that petty?
I know.
Go
Garp,
ahead.
I know. Garp,
Go ahead.
I know. Garp
Give Marco
praised-
some credit.
I know. Garp put Ray on a level of a legendary level of
know
Whitebeard.
Garp,
That's what I know.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
Imagine if
That's what I know.
Kaido. Imagine if Kaido was like, "Damn, yo, Rayleigh and Gaban, yo, they definitely could hurt me too. Not even close to being in the top 5."
Guys, we got to get to the rest of the chapter and the super chats, man. We don't have time. Yeah, I gotta have to hash this out off air.
You don't know what hockey is, bro.
He's like
You don't know what hockey is, bro.
Oh, man.
You can identify it.
Yeah.
Mr. Garp used
can-
clear hockey during Marine Ford. Yeah, right.
He
'Cause
clearly.
there was no clear hockey.
There's no. What do you mean? There's no clear hockey?
There was no clear hockey
my
during
God,
Marine Ford War. It was just
He's saying it
not
wasn't a thing.
literally shown
Yeah.
to be using what type of hockey was being shown during that time.
See, this actually argument came with me and Sebastian, and I killed that because pre-time sync, where hockey hardening and all that stuff was being shown, I have an instance where you legit see Luffy using hockey hardening against
Yeah.
Caesar. Then another time
Against
he-
Caesar?
Against,
You know
no,
Caesar's post-time skip, right?
huh? Yeah, I know.
You
I
just
know.
said pre-time skip.
I'm sorry, post-time skip, right?
Right.
And then guess
When
what?
was Marine Ford?
No.
When was Marine Ford?
No. Listen.
Marine Ford was
You're-
pre-time
you're-
skip.
No, you're saying, right, that clear
hockey's not a thing.
Yeah, Luffy uses
Oh my
clear
God, bro.
hockey
Okay.
post-time skip against
Yeah.
Caesar.
Yeah.
And guess what?
You're misunderstanding what Larry's saying. He's
No,
saying
he's saying
there
that-
wasn't a way to identify whether somebody was using hockey hardening or clear hockey.
Thank you, Sebastian.
At that time, because
No,
we didn't
appreciate
have
Appreciate
hockey.
you
and I'm
that
saying,
you
no,
need to have
it-
layman's
I-
terms
no,
in
I
order
get
for him
it.
even
And
understand
I'm telling
it.
you, clear hockey was just it. It was just clear hockey. Clear hockey
Yeah.
is the
Right.
most basic form of hockey.
Right.
Right? Same way. Like you could use hockey hardening and you could use clear hockey, right? That's the thing. You've seen both. We've seen Luffy use clear, we've seen Luffy use hockey hardening, right? The same way, doing the inward thing.
Yeah.
And outward emission. Inward emission. You could use clear hockey to do it, and you could use hockey hardening to do it. We've seen both.
I love how
So
you just like
clear hockey's doing
straw
it.
man the argument for no reason.
I'm not
Literally,
straw
you're
manning.
taking a piece of my argument and saying it's false when that's not my point. My point is that regardless of what hockey was shown during Marineford, clear hockey is not a clear indicator of what was being used hockey-wise during Marineford, because then everybody would have a different type of usage or the same usage.
No, that's not true.
Okay, we could just move on.
You could identify.
we can move on, bro.
You could clearly identify.
We can move on.
Like that's why I showed that picture.
Yeah,
when
we
Garp
can
punched
identify,
Luffy,
bro.
and then when he punched Marco.
Mr.
What is the difference?
Mr. Akainu
What's
didn't
the
use
difference?
observation hockey against Marco and Vista, who were clearly stated by Akainu to be hockey users.
I said he didn't need future sight to separate his body. That's my
Right,
argument. I didn't say he didn't use. I never said he didn't use observation. I said you don't need future sight to separate your body from an attack you see coming straight at you.
Okay, Lawrence.
Regular observation
You know what,
could
Lawrence?
allow you to do so.
You won, Lawrence. Good job. Really know how to debate.
I'm saying that you guys need these crazy hockey feats to do these simple hockey things. You could use basic hockey to do these simple hockey feats.
Can I get into
Y'all
the
make
final
it to
part of
this
the
whole
chapter?
thing.
Yeah. All right. We head into the final part of the chapter and arrive at the Western Village, where the giants, Dorry and Brogy, are fighting the warriors of the Western Village. Zoro, Yarul, Haruden, Stanson, and several other giants. Haruden points out that every cut they make on the Domi Reversi giants simply heals itself. I hate Lawrence, bro. Yo, dude, he always does this, bro. Always, bro.
Yo, bar funny.
I love you, bro, but come on, bro. You can't do that, bro.
Yeah, just me, bro.
Oh, my
You
God.
only got 45 minutes left, not even.
Chat told me to find that sound.
Stanson adds that he knows all these men personally, which makes it difficult to attack them when he recognizes their faces. The group now faces a serious dilemma. How are they supposed to stop the Domi Reversi giants? Meanwhile, Dorry and Brogy have fully recovered from cutting through each other 3 chapters ago. Giants on the battlefield begin to notice something strange. They seem different. It appears that Dorry and Brogy have somewhat regained their senses. While struggling, Brogy asks Dorry if he's still in there. Dorry replies, just barely. Zoro overhears their conversation. Dorry confesses that he's living in his deepest shame, forced to hurl insults he doesn't believe his chief, Yarul, deserves. Brogy agrees, saying that if they were to take Yarul's head, it would bring shame upon his family for generations. That simply can't happen. Dorry then asks Brogy if he's in agreement, and then Brogy says, of course. Dorry declares that they will never give in to demons. At the same time, both giants reflect on their century-long battle on Little Garden, realizing it was the greatest time of their lives. They simply say their farewells and remind themselves that they are warriors of Elbaf. If they must pass away, they will do so with pride. In a shocking moment, Dorry and Brogy cut off each other's heads. Everyone who isn't under the Domi Reversi covenant is stunned. They scream out, asking why they would do such a thing. We see both captains lying face down on the ground, decapitated. Suddenly, a circle forms around each of their bodies. Flames erupt as their bodies turn over within the circles. They revert back to their original forms, their heads restored. Dorry and Brogy realize they haven't passed. They slowly get up, panting. The warriors of the Western Village can't believe it. The 2 giants are alive, and their heads are back on. Yarul begins to speak. It must mean if they pass away, Stanson finishes the thought, they stop being demons. Now standing together, Zoro, Stanson, Brogy, Haruden, and Dorry prepare to fight the Domi Reversi giants. Brogy remarks that even the most mangled corpse looks perfectly healthy once you flip it over. Haruden says that there's no need to hold back and wonders aloud if all it takes is a fatal blow to turn everyone back to normal. Dorry suggests something like chopping off their heads or piercing their hearts, but then he hesitates. Come on, these are our comrades. We can't do that, can we? Zoro responds bluntly. This means we can do whatever we want. The Domi Reversi giants begin to look confused. In the background, someone yells that the children should be brought inside. Zoro smiles. I hate to see it, he says. Brogy adds, it's a real shame. Dorry says, it's a pain. It pains me on the inside. Haruden follows, a real heartbreaker. Finally, Stanton tells the Domi Reversi giants not to take it personally, but they should prepare to perish. And with that, the chapter ends. So since Marv is not back yet, we'll start with Seb.
All right. Sorry, I did the thing. That's crazy. Anyway, I love Dorry and Brogy's dedication to Elbaf and their trust in one another and their honor that was on full display in this chapter. They realized they were being forced to act in a way that was unbecoming of them, and they immediately said, well, guess we got to take each other out. And they did so ASAP without hesitation. I also love that they flashed back to their 100-year battle. Like, they thought back on those moments fondly. I think that's great. Somebody actually tried to spoil me on the Dorry and Brogy decapitation part on Discord. I don't know what's good with y'all. I didn't open the message because I was like, I don't know who this is. Mm-hmm. So like, I always wait until the chapter's like out and like I've read it before I open up new DMs from new people. But I was like, yo, who? Like, they literally just screenshotted that and then sent it, and I was like, that's crazy. I just don't understand the internet for that. Zoro and the Giants behind him about to go through their Dami Reversi training session is funny to me. It's like when you're just like fighting, they don't have the same like stakes, I guess. Like they have to take these people out, and they're able to smile about it as a result because it's like, normally you don't really just get like the option to fight and get stronger or whatever to train like this in this kind of way. So I thought that was cool. Zoro saying you hate to see it was hilarious to me.
Oh my god!
I laughed so hard because I was like, "There's no way Oda wrote you hate to see it." But at the same time, Oda be into pop culture, so maybe I chuckled at that. And it does seem he's rounding up the Giants on Elbaf like he promised to do with the Samurai on Wano. So everybody thought that he would do that or whatever. It's funny that like everybody thought Frankie was also gonna get his upgrade from Vegapunk on Egghead. Oda, in the same chapter, is paying both of those things off. It's kind of funny to me. I did also think back to Zebek and Rox and his story. I hope that's not a trigger for y'all. He seemingly couldn't bring himself to take out his father and grandmother, which apparently would have rescued them from the Dami Reversi because they were Dami Reversi'd on God Valley, and he had Eris with him, and he like ran away from the situation or to get her to safety. Apparently, if he would have just taken them out, they would have been reversed. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's kind of how I went back and read the chapter. I don't remember exactly what chapter it was, but it's just like, dang, like he just becomes a more and more tragic character because it's natural for anybody to not want to fight their father and grandmother, right?
Yeah.
So like he didn't bring himself to do that and take them out and behead them or whatever. And if he would have done that, apparently that would have rescued them. So it's kind of sad, and they suffered the fate of the Davy clan at that day. It also reminded me of Roger and Garp's combined attack that must have been so powerful that it broke through the Dami Reversi curse and incapacitated Rox entirely to the point where he could no longer move. So it's rough. Like, to me, Rox is probably one of the most unlucky characters in the series, truly tragic through and through. So that's kind of all I had for the ending part of the chapter. I did like that like moment that they had, the 4 of them or 5 of them, and I also thought it was cool that they were like in order like that, because I think to me that's always been the order of strength between Dorry and Brogy. I always thought that is Brogy? This is a fatter one.
Brogy,
yeah. I always thought he was stronger than Dorry for whatever reason. So like when I read it, I was like, this is the order of strength. So I don't know. It's not confirmation, but it's just how I thought. But that's it for me.
Law?
I actually don't have too much different from what Sebastian was saying here. It seemed like that crazy that I guess whatever attack they did beforehand of them cutting each other was enough to bring them to this state. And we've seen it similar to even Harold's state, where it brought him back to where he's able to think a little bit more clearly like himself, right? And then now finding out that all you needed to do is like a fatal wound that would normally like, I guess, take him out can just unreverse Dami Reversi. That's all in a way you need, because to me, Dorry and Brogy haven't really shown to be real hockey users. And they're just using their brute force to do this. But again, it's in this more clear-headed state, so whatever that means in Dami Reversi, right? They're able to control each other to attack each other and not them, right? But bringing this here makes me thought of the same thing in the whole Rox, Dami Reversi, and Roger and Garp thing, where now if Rocks was just able to move at that state, he could have been good.
Mm-hmm.
But that attack was so strong, it left him completely immobile to just watch his own passing from, the knights there. That situation. So that kind of like just dang, that's heartbreaking knowing that, because it goes like if they just got there sooner, like Gaban and Ray, to save Roger and Garp, they could have saved Rocks as well, because he would have been in his state of mind and no longer under the Diamond Reverse. Right? And I laughed as hard as heck too when Zoro said, "You hate to see it."
Hate to see it.
Because I use this quote all the time. Like, I say it.
Me too.
You hate to see it. And I got other people using it too, because it's hilarious to me. Because like pretty much where it comes from. But it is cracking me up. Because now, I put it in a different light. Because obviously they care about their comrades, and they're all Diamond University. They're trying to figure out how can we defend ourselves, protect people, but also reverse them out of it. Because we're attacking them and they keep regenerating. But they'll kind of seem like they're holding back to do too much damage. But now they're finding out, and this is the smiles are coming from, oh, we don't got to hold back. We can just take them out, and they'll be flipped. Or that changes things. And then I thought of too, like a training ground where you just have like these strong bodies where you can just attack, right? But it changed the level field for them. It was like, oh, all right, so we don't have to worry about their safety, because they're just we could take off their heads literally, and they'll go back to their regular form. So that puts them at ease, and because also too, I think these giants here, the two strongest ones was Dorry and Brogy, and you take that away on their side. So now it just kind of like it's going to be almost like a no contest for them when you have people like this line up here with Zoro. So yeah, and to me it just goes into, I think that's what sticks here for Diamond University. I do believe for the Shallows Covenant with Imu, you need something stronger or greater to get there, and I think even something even stronger for the Depths Covenant. So I think this is the least form what it takes, and I think it gets stronger also too. I think it's even heavier. For instance, if you're in the Deep's Covenant and then Imu has possessed your body, like he's done with Saturn and he's done with Gunko, I think it's even a stronger connection where it's almost like where you could see in the combined attack of the greats that we saw, and it still seems to have no effect. Because I think there's a link there, because it's the Depths Covenant, the strongest form of this healing or whatever. Also, Imu was present at that time, and not Imu's real body. So I think that's why their attack did nothing, And and now we also kind of get, like, for example, I was talking to Lana about it. Since seeing how they unreversed it or whatever, just flipping it. What happened to Saturn is like Imu just took away the covenant from him. That's what took out Saturn. Simply Imu was like, oh, you have a covenant with me? I take it away from you, leaving you of it. I guess it just means passing, or it could be the fact that all those years that preserved your life is done now. But yeah, I don't think I have anything else besides that.
Yeah. Dorry and Brogy have gained a tremendous amount of respect from me. When we first met them, they seemed incredibly unreasonable. Fighting for 100 years over a reason they had long forgotten and refusing to stop even when their crew needed them felt completely illogical at the time. But now, it all feels like it makes sense. They found comfort in one another. Life was at its best when they were fighting on that small island together. It allowed them to fully embrace the ideals and culture of what it meant to be from Elbaf. That's what they knew, and that's what their people take pride in. Seeing how Domi Reversi twisted their minds and turned them into something they weren't made them feel as though they betrayed Elbaf itself. I mean, to them, that meant their lives and family would lose all meaning, bro. Their pride in who they were mattered more than anything else. So the person each of them trusted most, the one they had fought against and alongside for a century, was the only one they entrusted with the responsibility of ending their life, if it came to that. And there was a sense of peace in knowing that if it happened, it would be done by their best friend. That's truly some manly stuff, bro. I have a lot of respect for Dorry and Brogy. When we talk about some of the greatest rivalries and like friendships in the One Piece verse, I think they deserve to be added to that list. Not in terms of strength, of course, but in terms of what it means to be rivals and best friends. In that category, I think they rank really, really high. Now, I need to talk about Domi Reversi because I think the community might be oversimplifying what happened with Dorry and Brogy, figuring out how to overcome it. By no means is this a simple technique, yo. Like, first, the very foundation of this ability is that it's one of the 4 covenants Imu grants to make someone stronger. The fact that Dorry and Brogy had to essentially off themselves in order to break free shows how extreme the requirement is. I mean, it's unfortunate they just couldn't ask Gaban how to defeat Domi Reversi if he was bursting it so many times and he's on the island. Or he could have just offered that advice himself. So to pull that off, you need someone of equal or greater strength to carry it out. Otherwise, you're never escaping it. You literally have to lose your life in order to break the control. The next thing I want to point out is that we don't fully understand the potency of Domi Reversi yet. I believe there may actually be different forms or levels of this ability. For example, Imu is currently possessing Gunko and isn't physically present on Elbaf. When Imu used Domi Reversi on Brogy, it was done with a simple flick of the wrist, creating a transmutation circle beneath him, flipped him into his demon form, right? But during God Valley's incident, when Imu turned rocks, Imu was actually on the island and had to physically touch rocks while using Haki to transform him. That suggests there are variables involved on how this technique works. So the question becomes, does Imu being physically present and touching you make Domi Reversi more potent than when it's done remotely through a transmutation circle? Or the Othello type game?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know which one. Personally, I believe the version where Imu is physically present and directly touching the target is just a more powerful form of Domi Reversi. The way I think about it is like this. Imagine I bottle up some river water and hand it to you. You could drink it, but you're not going to drown from that bottle, right? But if I drag you to the river and hold your head under the water, then you're in real danger of drowning. That's how I view the difference between these two versions of Domi Reversi. Now let's move on to the after effects of Domi Reversi. As we can see, Brogy still doesn't have his hand. He just has the shield around his arm, which means he lost it before being turned by Domi Reversi, as we saw, and that damage remained. However, during Domi Reversi, he was decapitated. Decapitated, right. And yet his head returned when he reverted back. This leads me to believe that any damage taken while under Domi Reversi resets you back to the state you were in right before you were transformed. But anything that happened before the transformation remains permanent. So, for example, if Shanks were placed under Domi Reversi right now, he would still come back with one arm because that injury existed before the transformation. With that being said, we also have to talk about Haki in relation to Domi Reversi. I've said this before, that people under Domi Reversi aren't truly themselves, which means they're technically weaker, in my opinion, because why would Rox save his woman and then go and literally try to murk her? That doesn't show Rox's willpower. That shows somebody controlling him. So, they aren't using named attacks, and they aren't wielding Haki the way they normally would. Their willpower is being overridden and misused. We've seen this multiple examples. Rox using the voice of all things to call out to Roger and Garp while they were fighting him. Harold questioned why he was moving on his own as if thoughts were being manipulated under the Depths Covenant. And now Dorry and Brogy themselves admit they were doing things they felt ashamed of. They were not in control. Given all of that, I still don't understand how some people argue that these characters are stronger under Domi Reversi when they're clearly lacking control over their own will. This brings me to the idea that damage can restore consciousness. Dorry and Brogy injured themselves just before regaining control, but they didn't strike a brand or anything like Loki did with Harold. That's because Domi Reversi doesn't rely on brands, unlike other abilities we've seen. So it makes sense that taking enough damage could override the technique itself. Yeah, that was a crazy call. But then we have to ask, what happened to Rox? When I think back to the moment he fought his family members who were under Domi Reversi, as well as Garling and the other Holy Knight, I believe Rox simply didn't understand what Domi Reversi was or how to counter it. Because of that, he may have gone too far. So instead of just breaking the control, he overwhelmed them with so much Haki that they didn't have the ability to recover afterward. In other words, he may have permanently taken them out, which is why they never reverted back to their normal selves. Likewise, when Roger and Garp fought Domi Reversi Rocks, they may have done just enough damage to break the control and take him out at the same time. Rocks reverted back to himself, but he was completely exhausted afterward. So, why weren't Dorry and Brogy exhausted in the same way?
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes back to what I mentioned earlier. Rocks was under a much more potent version of Domi Reversi, since Emu physically touched and corrupted him directly rather than transforming him through a transmutation circle. And ironically, that may prove something important. Even though Rocks might have been under a stronger version of Domi Reversi, his willpower was still suppressed and misused, which ultimately made him weaker than he would have been in his natural state. Also, Zoro was holding back. So, that's all I got.
Huh? We got a bunch of super chats. I'm going to try to speed run all these. Unless you got. All right. I do want to shout out Reggie J because he's donated a bunch and he donated a $50 super chat earlier. So thank you, Reggie. I'll read that one now. It says, "Thank you, Larry. Oh my God, laughing emojis 100. Two conquers debate for a character that holds himself back. Always lying, scamming, running, and hiding behind Nami. Brave warrior of the sea with a question mark. And Zoro is Luffy's bro / best friend. Check the fine print." Thank you, Reggie.
Thank you.
I disagree on that last part, man.
Reggie.
Well, whatever. Another 5 from Pastor C. Super Cola is cool and all, but Green Blood was right there an arc ago. Green Blood would have been dope. I don't see why you can't get both. Another 5 from Reggie J. Exactly, Larry. 100. Shanks got bigger plot to fill in the story. Soon as we seen Gear 5 Luffy, that should have said a lot and have used to wanting more lore. For sure. Another 20 from Wise Life. It says, "What's up, my boys? Excited to hear your thoughts on this chapter. Straw Hat's finally doing something cool. If Emu leaves Elbaf, who would be a good villain for the arc? Domi Reversi Loki, Figurlins, Admirals, or Blackbeard? Hashtag topped on top. Hashtag Larry Tex." I'm starting to lean into the Loki Domi Reversi.
Give me Loki.
Yeah, I'm starting to lean into that.
So we can see it was real.
Yeah.
Because if he just stops using Thorheim, right? Stops using all these attacks and he gets beat, I do want to hear what people got to say.
See. Another 5 from True Fuego. Larry saying he jumped one time to see if it claps. What? Oh, I remember that.
That
is a wild
crazy.
statement.
What?
You need help, my boy.
Who said
Jesus
that?
Burgess versus Frankie. Who y'all got? Frankie and, eventually Frankie, because I do think that's his final matchup. Yo, you said this like a while back. I remember it. It was crazy, bro. Another 10 from Sman Kyle.
I didn't say that.
It's not Loki. Remember, Shamrock had to ask Gunko for any intel they had on him. It's likely Blackbeard, considering Saturn is aware of Blackbeard's lineage when they didn't know him 2 years ago. That's very possible. Yeah. Another 5 from Reggie J. Do you think the curse from Zoro's Kitetsu sword has anything to do with the Reaper attack that attacked Zoro at Onigashima?
No. That was an Enma thing, in my opinion. He was connecting with Emma the entire time.
I think I explained it before. The Reaper thing, it was due to the damage he took because it doubled his damage. So even...
He was hallucinating?
I think he was that near death, Zoro. Because the whole 20... Remember taking the Sovereignty attack? I'm trying to be quick. Double the damage because it didn't heal him. What Chopper ejected him. It healed, and then also all of that. So from the entirety of Wano, everything he suffered... double that to a crazy degree, you know? So Zolo was dealing with all of that. That's worse than nothing happened, if you think about it.
Okay. Another 34 months at Yonko Status from Project Iceman. It says, "Hey guys, listening to you guys while at the gym was my New Year's resolution that I'm committing to, especially with the cold weather, LOL. When I started, I was at 255 pounds, dropped down to 237.
Hey.
Hashtag willpower. Keep going, man. Keep grinding. I don't know what your end goal is, but you'll make it.
Keep eating Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
Calisthenics, man.
Another 4 months at Nakama Status from C2X's. It says, "Yo, I made it live. Blackbeard versus red-haired pirates matchups. I actually would prefer that there is no matchup. I would prefer that they just jump Shanks."
Did you read Project Iceman?
This one?
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I would rather just jump him. I think
Where's
it
the
does
rest of the
better.
crew? Shanks' crew. They just watching?
Just gotta isolate, man. Find a way to isolate him. Imagine. But calling the ISO is the opposite effect in this situation. It's like, I got Shanks 1v1. Like, no, you don't.
It's for jumping, though.
It's for jumping. Another 5 from Reggie J. Nah, not about the situation. It's been a minute. My beef for the last super, it was a joke. Nah, you good, bro. You good. Another 2 from El Keto-kun. It says, for death to beat Damiroversi, intents to kill is a must. Okay, so you have to have the intention to kill the person? Maybe. We'll see. Another 5 from Reggie J. Law, why are you looking for Usopp? He's not going to do anything. Another 16 months from Tech Throw at Nakama status. Frankie plus Mother Flame equals Super Saiyan. Hashtag yearning for Yamato.
No, it's super out.
Mother Flame with Frankie is wild. Another 2 from Big Meatball. Usopp will be an honorary brave warrior of the sea. Another 2 from Reggie J. Frankie is 36. He's big, bro. Unc is at 45. I've been an uncle since I was 7, bro. You know what I'm saying? You just be an uncle sometimes. Another 5 from Josie Dirts. I told y'all Sanji was going to clash with killing him last week. Sommer's just too far away right now. I'm still with Larry and think Sommers is going to get back up. Yeah, I'm with you. I got to give you your credit, man. You called it. Yeah. For sure. I still don't think he's his matchup, though. I don't think, it's killing him versus Sanji in the end. I don't think that's the case. Yeah. Another 10 from Anel's Lobby. Hi, couldn't give my AG1 review last pod episode because it hadn't been that long. It's been 3 weeks circa now and no major differences. Perhaps it needs more time, but I have to say I feel less bloated.
Yeah, it's good on probiotics. Really good.
Okay. Keep taking it, man. Let us know. Another 5 from the Outcasted Gamer. How strong is Kuma? Is Kid the strongest character he can beat? Hashtag top. Hashtag Larry has the best takes.
That's so funny.
Kuma versus Kid?
It's Kuma, bro.
Not a great matchup. I want to say Kid best because I'm a Kid guy. I feel like Kuma has everything he would need to beat Kid. So
body Kid, bro.
I actually got Kid.
You got Kid?
What?
I actually got Kid.
How?
Kuma is made out of metal, right? Yeah. Or whatever that is going on there. So he can at least, at the minimum, he can magnetize him and move the body around. Kuma can then transport himself to places. So even if Kid does move him around, he can still move himself. So it's tough for me.
If he just hockey his body, Kid is not going to be able to do anything.
But Kuma doesn't have those kind of showings to be like, he can just hockey harden his whole body kind of a thing. He doesn't have that. I'll say this, if Kid can use his ability to, he assigned Big Mom, right? If he assigns Kuma, it's going to be effective on Kuma. And I don't think he even needs to do all that per se. He just has to catch Kuma. Kuma can teleport. That's my issue with the teleportation and the ability to remove pain from his own body. Technically, those are my 2 things.
Repel, because he's probably going to repel. Even though I said Kid, he's going to repel his railgun.
Yeah.
I mean, he could.
Listen. It's a fight. It's a fight. I'm gonna put a poll up. It might be a DDT. It might just be a DDT. DDT coming back on Wednesday, by the way. Let us know in the chat. I'm torn on this one, but I'm a Kid guy. Damn, we got mad super chats. All right. Another 5 from Reggie. Oh, hold on. I didn't finish the rest of that. Hashtag top. Hashtag Larry has the best takes.
Thank you.
Another 5 from Reggie J. Law is preaching about Usopp 100. No lie told and had to let people know this is the character Oda wrote. He won't change him with lies and opinions.
What did I say about Usopp?
I don't even remember. Another 2 from ZD Giglamesh. Do you think the machine on Emmett's back is an ODC? Maybe. It'd be pretty cool, like an ancient ODC. Another 2 from Reggie J. Oda def a Game of Thrones fan. Y'all said it first. Yeah, we had a couple conversations about Oda being a Game of Thrones fan, probably. Another 10 from Mugiwara Boricua. Rank these betrayals by shock value. York betraying Vegapunk, Conjuro betraying the Samurai, CP9 revealing themselves, Squad stabbing Whitebeard, Corazon being a Marine, hashtag Boricua attacks, hashtag Bang Bang Buggy Gang. Of those, what's your number 1 reveal? Mine is CP9.
CP9?
Yeah.
Probably Squirtle.
Squad?
Stabbing Whitebeard. That was crazy.
Okay.
I did not expect that. I was like, oh.
I'm trying to remember what I thought in the moment. It was wild. It was a wild panel to see. I'll say that.
It was so much going on.
Yeah.
Wiper had all this respect. The way his family was dynamic was working.
Stabbed up.
And he already had one son betray him. So I was like, there's no way another son is going to betray him, right? And all of a sudden, Squirtle did it. That was shocking to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another 5 from Hakuza PK. Spikes on Loki's back look like a mountain range compared to the giants that fell on him. His Zoan form is colossal and dwarfs any version of Kaido. I don't know about any. I mean, I agree that he's bigger than Kaido. Dwarfs, I feel like, is a strong word, but hey. Another 2 from Reggie J. Lionel would go, my BA if I spelled it wrong. Now you spelled it right. Yeah, I rarely do. Another 2 from Reggie J. That throat, hashtag gotta go. What? Another 7, Canadian from MM Johnny. The ego of the entropic world can be slashed into pieces. 2-sword style. Rashomon. Hashtag throat piece. Yeah, funny. Another 10 from Lego Animation. My friend keeps clowning on Blackbeard for getting snuck by Beppo, saying pre-time skip Luffy would never get snuck like that. What are your thoughts on Blackbeard's current power level? Hashtag off-screen hockey. Blackbeard's the kind of guy that gets caught, man. He be lacking. But I believe he's Yonko level. I do. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I do think he's Yonko level personally.
If he can get past Aokiji, we'll talk.
Mm-hmm. Another 10 from Demetrius Anderson. Which Devil Fruit is the strongest? Each fruit has a user bringing out its fullest potential. Awakening. The Magma Fruit, the Quake Fruit, or the Nidhogg. Hashtag time him out for 10 seconds. Hashtag we on topped.
Should be the Quake.
Should be the Quake.
Yeah.
Nidhogg kind of crazy, but I'm going to go with the Quake. Another 5 from Mugiwara Boricua. Killingham reminded me of Bernie Mac's role from Don't Be a Menace. Hashtag you think you tough. Huh? Hashtag my milk of magnesia. That's a crazy hashtag.
Hate black pepper.
Another 5 from Reggie J. W Stream, Zoro going to do something next chapter. In fact, said about Killingham and the Dave Chappelle skit reference. And Frankie farting took me out. Laughing emojis. I still think he farted. Another 5 from Kaiba Corporate. Just got out of an open heart surgery. They gave me some Larry Cope and I didn't feel a thing. What? Are you serious, bro?
Yeah, are you serious?
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Kaiba, did you have open heart surgery for real?
Dude. Heart emoji, hashtag top on top, hashtag we love Larry, hashtag ain't no party like a Seb party. Well, I hope you're joking, and if you aren't joking, I'm glad you're here with us, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you're good. I'm glad you decided right after you donate $5. Yeah, are you crazy? Take your $5 back, bro.
What are you doing, man?
Thank you so much. The hospital bill is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, man. Another 5.
I'm glad you're okay.
Another 5 from Regal Sloth. Hey guys, the AFL season just started in Australia. Best sport in the world. I highly recommend you check it out.
AFL, like
football, like the fake football.
NFL, but
what?
Like for AFL.
I don't know what AFL is. I have to look it up. It's Australian Football League. Is it rugby?
I don't know.
Another 2 from Reggie J. Oh yeah, like the stream. The praying emoji helps with the YouTube algorithm. Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Another 6 months at Nakama status from Max Power. There are a few things that could redeem Usopp this arc. Have him stay and train in Elbath after this arc. After the arc, advanced observation somehow, or he beats a Holy Knight. Beating a Holy Knight is a lot, man.
We're talking about if Sanji could beat one, but
beating a Holy Knight
Usopp,
is a lot.
shout out to Usopp, yo.
Another 5 for Reggie J. Not gonna lie, me and the Monster Trio have... Not gonna lie, me and the non-Monster Trio have to get stronger. So far, I'm rocking with Oda cooked up so far. And I believe Sanji unlocks soccer hockey through battle. 100%. Another 5 from Daimyo Dao. Which Straw Hat Pirate utilized a device that absorbs energy? What if Usopp power-up is the ODC modded with a hammer or a new slingshot? Hashtag hockey chucker, hashtag topped.
I can see it. I mean,
like
he used
it.
dials.
No, I don't know
That'd be
why
a foreshadow.
they keep giving Usopp this hammer. I don't know what the hell.
The Usopp hammer, bro, from way back. You don't remember?
Oh, yeah.
You used to use it. Another 5 from Retro Ice. Does the energy converter matter when we know we have impact dials? Seems like an egghead upgrade. What y'all think? Yeah, we kind of went over this a little bit earlier. This is able to house much stronger energies seemingly than the dials were. So, and they don't seem to have the same like negative or drawback. So, you know what I mean?
And also, what I understand with the dials, it was only able to dish out exactly what it absorbed.
Yeah, this is like absorbing all of it together and coalescing it into creating more energy, more power.
Exactly.
Definitely upgraded. Another 5 from Josie Dirts. End of the chapter got me thinking that Loki gonna get Dami'd. Aside from Imugonku, the Gunko, the threat ain't really there. Zoro cutting Loki head off would be dope. We gonna see. Nami University Loki would be fire. Loki. Another 2 from Reggie J. Larry, just bring a horse next time you debate law. Another 10 from Roberto Figueredo. I'm going to rant on Larry about Moria. I still believe he was on God Valley when Kuma sent everyone flying for 3 days and 3 nights. So, also, I can't wait for the Netflix One Piece Season 2.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it could make sense.
That probably happened.
Another 2 from
But
Reggie
that would
J.
require Kuma being there before.
Another 2 from Reggie J. Marv, I know you crying laughing.
I was laughing, yeah.
Another 10 from Saucy12. Hey, Top, how's everyone doing? We're doing good. From worst to best, rank these arcs/sagas. Marineford, Chimera Ant, Sasuke Retrieval, Saiyan Saga, and Shibuya. Hashtag Super Rare Rabbit Seb. Okay. Hashtag Professor X Larry. Hashtag Gaban over Rocks Law.
Well, you guys haven't seen a lot of these.
I've seen all of them except Chimera. Chimera or whatever.
Oh, so you disqualified, bro.
Yeah, I can't do Chimera, man. So it's on you.
Chimera Ant arc. I'd say Sasuke Retrieval, Shibuya, Marineford, Saiyan Saga.
Wait, you know he said from worst to...
Oh, he said worst to best?
Yeah.
Well, just reverse that.
Yeah, just reverse that.
I got Marineford top 1 in this list, for sure. Top 1. I haven't seen Chimera Ant, but I would go Marineford, then Sasuke Retrieval, then Super Saiyan Saga, then Shibuya, and I just can't rank Chimera.
You already know what's going to be last for me.
All right, bro. Another 5 from Reggie J. Law and Lionel shift characters. Today, I'm Shanks, you're Shamrock. I'm in tears right now. One day, y'all should sit on opposite sides to see people see. Another 2 from Reggie J.
That would be funny.
I believe it too, Law. They'll figure it. They would
figure out by
know.
how they talk.
They would know early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another 2 from
Shades.
Reggie J. This deserves YouTube likes. Hashtag sky splitting debate. Yeah, I was going in, man. Another 5 from Polarized. Seb rushes to stop Larry's awakening. He is too late. Larry casts his domain expansion. Celestial Sin. Seb encounters with his own domain. Blood Bark. What? I don't...
Is he creating like a fight scene between you two?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does it. He's been doing it every episode the past
episode.
5 episodes.
It's probably longer than that. I have one of our mods like screenshotting them, so we'll see what it looks like.
My dude, you should animate this if you can.
I was just thinking about doing it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another 5 from Fremos. Did anything ever come of the giant thing in the sky that sucked up Capone in chapter 594? Could it possibly be Uranus related? I don't think
but I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't think we
it
ever
was
got any
right
confirmation.
before the time skip.
Mm-hmm.
Capone, you remember, Law? It was
Nah.
a big like island, and it had like these little suction cups at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then Capone was like eating. He was like, "Yo, what is that?" And then all of a sudden, it sucks up his ship, and then we just get nothing else said from it.
What?
I actually love that we didn't get
Go
an
to chapter
explanation.
594.
It's 594.
Yeah, you'll see it.
I love that we didn't get an explanation because to me, like the New World was supposed to just be crazy, and they're in there, and crazy stuff is just happening, and they're all experiencing it. I thought it was dope. Another 2 from Reggie J. Ding, ding, ding with the boxing gloves. Another 2 from Standby Joe. What's your favorite reality TV show? Hashtag BBC. I don't watch reality TV,
I don't either.
so
I used to hate it. Or
Oh, I guess reality TV. I could say Mr. Beast games. I've watched the Mr. Beast games.
The only thing
that was pretty good.
The only thing I could say is I watched Jersey Shore like when it was like happening. I didn't like love it or nothing, but I was like tuned in just because it was like the thing people were doing.
Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
I mean, it's all staged, but I think they probably all are. Yes.
I think Trader is another one that's pretty good. I've seen like a couple episodes. Another Nakama joined the ship and Todd Bass, welcome. Another 2 from Reggie J. Go Larry, go. Yeah. Another 2 from Reggie J. Oda is watching this and loving it. No chance. Another 2 from Reggie J. Oh, we talking about the top 30? Another 2 from Mugiwara. Wasted time on a bad argument. Now we rushing these. My fault, Mugiwara Boricua. 2 from Reggie J. Good show, jolly show. Another 11 months at Nakama status from Henrik Karma. Funniest pod I watch. Hashtag you ruined the list. Hashtag blushy Sevi. Another 2 from Project Iceman. This is what happens when you cross Larry's rocks. Another 5 from Reggie J. I believe Larry's gym claims now for real, for real. The man got the lungs of a horse. Hashtag Mustang hockey. Okay, they glazing you a bit now. Another 2 for Reggie J. Is it safe to agree to disagree? It always is. It always is. Another 5 from Top Base. Nobody has the hockey to prove Celestial Larry wrong. Sebastian, the twins keep training. You'll be strong-minded enough one day. Another 280 for Purpley Popcorn. Twins combined IQ is 150. Hashtag refund my neurons. Why Lionel catches strays?
Yeah,
man?
Lionel's not even here.
Yeah, another 10 from Ramal Hostin. Do you think Oda matches up Zoro versus Sommers and Sanji versus Killingham so they can overcome each other's parallels like in Film Z with Sommers weaponizing love and Killingham weaponizing racism?
How do you weaponize racism? No.
That is pretty funny.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Another 10 from Reggie J. Seb tapping out. Oh, man. He can't laugh no more. Nah, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Another 5 from Diamond Life. Law, you letting Larry say you ruined the list? I wouldn't let that slide personally. You and Lionel low-key did ruin it. Do your homework next time. 2, Marv, can you play 5 after the argument?
Is that what he did?
Yeah. Another 5. Law just awakened advanced pettiness hockey and supreme tentos. Hashtag leakage. Hashtag petty chucker. Another 2 from Reggie J.
Weird.
Clear hockey. Another 2 from Reggie J. I can see clearly now the clouds are gone. Another 5 from Reggie J. Not gonna lie, we've been finished the chap at W Marv. Another 14. Czar from Mr. Mo. Lawrence high-key pissing me off. Hashtag critical mass hockey. From Jean Vivi. Supreme King Petty Hockey. Another 5 from Tom Bass. Her sister was a witch, bro.
What?
That video is so funny. Sebastian duck and cover. Oh, man. Another 5 from Reggie J. You hate to see it. I told y'all Zoro was one of us. Do-rag 3-sword style swordsman. Laughing emoji. Hashtag Big Zoro Goat. Another 5 from Reggie J. Oda definitely watches the pod. Confirmed. Hashtag Zoro dead. Allegations are dead. I don't know if they'll ever be dead, man. Another 10 from Reggie J. Reggie, you going crazy today. Oh, and the Naruto and Sasuke jokes. Bro, we all be on Discord like bros, and the few sisses we have on there. Chill out and rethink and finish the series. I'm good. Another 5 from Reggie J. Not gonna lie, thought Mickey at first, but had to calm down. What? Not sure. Another 20 from Roxty Manning. The twins are suffering from hockey sickness after going bar for bar with Larry. Crying emoji. Hashtag goats. Hashtag brotherly love. Hashtag Marco can kick rocks. Hashtag not a pun. Another 5 from Way the Asian. Go to chapter. Hope y'all been doing well. Hashtag where Lionel at. Hashtag Seb the swaggy unk. Hashtag Larry's chain bigger. Hashtag step the fit up law. Oh, dang. Shots fired, man. Another 2 from Reggie J. Quick Law versus Kid. Trash. I'll go Kid to be the contrary.
I think you missed one.
Did I? Oh, yeah. Another 2 from True Fuego. You definitely said it on the Worst Take stream, my boy.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay.
Another 2 from Sleeping Cavendish. Kid loses to Bonnie. He also loses to Condoriano. Wow. Wow.
But not Cavendish?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Crazy.
Another 27 months at Knockem status from Laco884. What would be Loki's awakening? To be even bigger.
Yeah.
Bigger dragon.
That seems like it.
Another 5 from Don't Worry About It. Papa Larry put on the Gear 5 fit from episode 7. Another 10 from Josie Dirts. Would Dami Loki be that fire? Lightning ain't doing nothing to Luffy. I doubt Ragnar would mess with a controlled Loki, so no ice. We all got a wild regen dragon versus the Straw Hats and Elbaf Ors Part 2. I think that's why I'll be fired. And I was thinking more fire, not for the fighting. Like, choreography's never been Oda's bag. It's more so Rox was Diamond Reversied and his father was, like, covenanted. Like, him dealing with it. I talked to Lionel a bit ago about, like, how Loki could get to the point where him and Luffy are, like, sharing sake cups. If he freed Loki from a Dami Reversi situation that happened to his idol and happened, or whatever control happened to his father, that could be how they get to that point where they're friends and, like, sharing sake cups. So I was more like fire from a narrative point, not so much a fight.
Wait, so Luffy frees Loki, and that's how they become from Nami Rushi. That's how they become blood brothers.
Maybe not by himself, but in general, like if he looks at Luffy as the person that saved him from that fate, I think that's how we can get there. Number 2 from Josie Dirts. Larry, stop saying we hate you. Stop saying we hate you. I back up every time. Huh?
I'll back you up.
I back you up every time. There we go.
Thank you, bro.
Another 2 from Ricky Miller. Zoro didn't take out Zori and Brogy. # Loki upscale. All right. Thank you guys. Sorry I had to speed run those. But yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Kuma won the poll.
How much?
It was 62 to 38%. 175 votes.
Listen, man, I don't agree he wins by that much, but I do think that he wins. Yeah.
If that's the case, there's no way beating Cat.
Who?
Okay.
Well, he didn't win.
Of course not.
He didn't beat Cat in the DT.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be good.
But anyway, guys, listen, bro. I want to say thank you so much for joining us for another stream. Thank you so much for all of the super chats that you sent. It was so much this episode. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. We really, really appreciate you, and we're thankful for you. I hope you guys had fun today. We're going to be back next Monday, and I believe it's going to be break week as well. So expect another good episode where we could talk things outside of One Piece. If you haven't liked the episode yet, please do so. For anybody that's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, also thank you. And if you could rate us 5 stars and leave a nice comment, that'd be nice. Everybody on Facebook, thank you so much as well. And Marv, thank you for another episode as well. We will see you next week. My name is Larry.
Law.
Seb.
And Lionel. Jana.